Hey y'all. Sorry, I had to push back. I had stuff I needed to get done. But we are ready to go. So let's go ahead and get into all this insanity on a Friday. Imagine that. Hey y'all, happy Friday. We are set and ready to go. I have a whole box of dry erase markers from my old business, and they're around here somewhere. I found a whole drawer of makeup, a whole brand new drawer of makeup that I never use, but I can't find my box of dry erase markers. I found like pallets and pallets, but I want my dry erase markers. And I don't know where they're at. So we're going to be using this one. But we are going to map out the team and we'll just kind of keep watch of it. So I started kind of laying it out already. You can see my ring light. Hold on. Let me turn that around so it's not glaring on that. You can kind of see what I started already. Chris and Katie, law enforcement. Seth, we're going to add to. We are bringing out the whiteboard. Clue. I'll show you. Hold on. My 21-year-old daughter has an obsession with makeup. So her makeup desk, she has a collection of makeup that's beyond belief, like stupid. She's got drawers and drawers of it, but she does very like not my age type of stuff. She's done my makeup one time before on here and I didn't even look like myself, but all right. Are you guys ready to go? So you guys want to work on the whiteboard first? Should we lay out the characters first? Or do you want to watch the video first? What do you want to do? Because we've got the team. So the whiteboard. Okay, let's do the whiteboard first. Hello, everybody. I'm not going to go through and waste all your time saying hello. I see y'all. Thank you for joining me. I want to get as much done today. So Seth, yes, off of Seth. But before the PIs, she loves makeup too. She's really damn good. She's really freaking talented. Really talented. So Chris and Katie have been predominantly working with. No, you're not blocked, skink ass. I can see you. I don't know who's deleting your comments. I don't know. You guys, that's the good troll. If anybody's in here deleting them, that's the good troll. That's the good one. So off of Seth. But let's walk this back. Okay, so first initially, before the PIs even got in, she's been too occupied with her kitty. Wasn't there JLR? Thank you, Sheila. It might have triggered something. You might have said something that triggered it just to not post. That happened before too. But wasn't JLR involved before the PIs? Weren't JLR and Trev Time involved before the PIs? Tell me. Exactly. Well, narked divers, we can go the other way. So we've got JLR who came in. We've got Trev Time, who was connected to Nina to do that interview. So we're going to add these people. And then we've got T-Rev, because no, he wasn't first. We'll put him in order. We've got JLR, who was there filming on location when Seth got involved. Then we've got Trev Time, who brought in Nina. I'll show you guys this when I'm done too. We'll just kind of keep track of it. Trev Time, I might need a bigger one. Nina. Then we've got Clue, are you talking about when he made sure that he was filming? I think I caught that. Afterwards. Okay, and then we're going to introduce the PIs. So we got the PI, who was Chloe to begin with, behind the scenes. But off of Chloe came Brothers Underwater, who is the RSO. Brothers Underwater came from Chloe, which also pulled in narked divers, who connected to CJ. Then we've got Trev T-Rev 757. We've got Pascal. And the reason I'm adding these as a part of the team is because they have only been interviewing one side of this. So Pascal, I would put him on the team. T-Rev 757, he's been flooding stuff that way. Brothers Underwater Recovery is on here. So we've got JLR, Trev Time, who did the interview with Nina. We've got the PI Chloe, who brought in Brothers Underwater Recovery, narked divers, who connected to CJ. I don't think Dolly Vision was really on a team, though. I mean, you could put him up there you could add him in here just as like a side. He was there, but I don't think he really connected. You've got, we could put, what's the other search and rescue that was out there that all the controversy came off of? Why am I just drawing a blank right now? United Cajun Navy. Okay, so they've been predominantly, Chris and Katie have been working with law enforcement and United Cajun Navy. They actually contacted and talked to them. Okay, then off of Pascal, we have T-Rev 757. We have Pascal. Then Heather was brought in, the PI, the other PI. Then you've got, who else is on Seth's side or on Seth's team? How would we say it? Narked divers, I put them on there. So you've got JLR, Trev Time, which was the Nina interview, the PI Chloe, who brought in Brothers Underwater Recovery, who brought in narked divers, who connected with CJ, T-Rev 757, Pascal, and Heather, the PI. Who else are we forgetting on there? Terry Lynn. Charlie has been out there with her. Nancy Grace, I wouldn't consider that. Uvalde Foundation, I'm not sure. I think they interjected on their own, though. I don't know. Crime Lies and Lines, I think the neighbor did that. I don't think we could add Brooks on here because she's spinning the same lies. We got to add the lab, which comes in from Trev Time because he's buddies with Trevor Lee. So you got the lab in there too, who released that. Olivia, yep. Is there somebody in here by the name of Two Ton? Seriously? Busby kind of goes with CJ. We can add him in there too. Sweetie Pilo and 1111. I don't think they really have connection to Seth, though. We're kind of talking about like who has associated with who. Brittany, I don't think she has any contact with any of them. Smiley, I don't think she has any personal contact there. It's your fan club? Okay. If you need them blocked, Clue, just let one of my mods know and they'll say if they're being assholes. I know you don't give a fuck, but still, they're not going to be rude to you in my comments. So here we have Chris and Katie who have worked with law enforcement, and the United Cajun Navy was asked to come in and search. They've also connected to basically 2 YouTubers that we know of, but not in the capacity of like doing stuff on their behalf. But then underneath Seth, I guess we could add Seth's mommy in here too. We could add Seth's mommy. Let's add Seth's mommy in here. I don't remember her name. Oh, yeah, I do. It's Robin. Okay. We'll put her in there. Tell me how this works out. Tell me how this works out. They've been working with law enforcement. Seth had JLR telling him to record certain things and make sure you get it on film. Trev time, he connected to do an interview with Chris's ex, Nina. The PI, Chloe, who basically was dangling the carrot and saying that she had all this private information to release. And that's what instigated this recorded phone call with Heather, who eventually ended up sending it to somebody who released it for public content. And it was released yesterday because that was the date. We'll get into all of that. Brothers Underwater Recovery, who is the RSO, who was connected to narc divers at first, who they have now had a falling out. Narc divers, I'm not sure what they're doing anymore. CJ and his 150 in PPP, and his buddy Busby, whoever that is, which is one of his mods. You have T-Rev757, who's been doing damage control online. You have Pascal. We forgot the new Tony the Tiger, that little guy. Pascal. Heather, the PI, who came in, who muddied the water. You've got Terry Lynn and Charlie out there finding evidence. You've got Brooks from Crime Lies and Lines, who's doing interviews with the neighbors. You've got the lab who released the phone call. You've got Seth's mommy out there doing all sorts of stuff. I know, right? We're going to need it at this rate, Clue. We really are. We are, you guys. We are going to need it. We might as well just paint that whole wall black and just start. Hey, Cooper. I hope you guys are doing good out there. Oh, I know. And we're going to listen to CJ. We're going to need a bigger board. I know. I'll go get one. I'll get a bigger board and I will find my black markers tonight. Chloe's on here. Chloe right here connects to, who brought in the RSO. Narc to Divers is not the RSO. Then it trails off, but we got to get the spokesman in there too. Tony the Tiger. Tony Mathis. Ooh. Justin on TikTok. Shit, we're out of the room. Look at that. Now tell me how you feel about this, seeing this. EquiSearch was brought in by and worked hand in hand with law enforcement, so they don't really go on anybody's team. Charlie is a local who connected to Terry Lynn. I don't think he's a problem. Riley Lively connected to United Cajun Navy. How does this make you feel? Chris and Katie have been working with law enforcement, and they did connect to United Cajun Navy in the beginning because they wanted help searching. How does this make you feel? No, these aren't just the creators that have been covering these. This is the team. This is the team that we can specifically link, that Seth has purposely brought in, released content to that shouldn't have been released, that have used people. Peter Hyatt, you could put on there too. We could do we have a whole spreadsheet of people that have been covering. What do you think what does that look like to you? Isn't that a little problematic? Don't you think that's problematic in some way, shape, or form? I'll get a black marker because it's hard to see in the green. And every one of these people, there's been some sort of problem with it. Every single one of it. So you have Chris and Katie out here. Well, I guess we can give Duchess and Clue here. Let's give them there. So we heard the other day that Duchess is actually the cult leader, but truly it's an MLM because there's legs off of it. Then Clue works under Duchess, which I don't even know how that would be possible because Clue would get fired for insubordination. I'm just joking too. Totally being an ass right now. But then you have nonsense. Then you have all the legs off of us too. Okay, so there we go. There, I added just to make it a little more fair. Duchess and then our pyramid scheme. Okay, it's an MLM. We have an MLM. They have a train wreck. You're Chris's sixth wife. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Lord. This is going south. But look at that. Tell me that's not problematic. Justin on TikTok has specifically taken photos that were staged to look a certain way at the vigil when Chris showed up. And when you look at the actual photos, totally different. Oh, that's right. You are the cousin. I do know that. Hi, everybody coming in. But look at this. Tony. Like what? Says mommy, Robin. The lab, who's connected to Trevor Lee. Brooks interviewed the non-existent neighbor. Terry Lynn, who found a pair of almost identical pants in a completely unrelated location and could have looked at the tag and saved it, too easy though. Heather, the PI, who's recording phone calls, which I don't have a problem with. I think PIs do that typically, but then released it. And it sounds like it was released to Seth. So which one of these or all of them did Seth release it to first and who fired in the hole first? Then you have Pascal out here, who's been a really big source of misinformation. T-Rev 757, which we know Heather, the PI, called into. Then you have Narc Divers, Brothers Underwater, the Chloe PI, who was such a well-respected PI. Trev Time, who did the Nina interview and was connected to Nina by, and then JLR. What does that look like to you guys? Looks like the perfect troll to me. JLR, you're saying it got messy. That's what you wanted, isn't it? That's what you've been wanting the entire time. I'll get a black marker and redo it, and I'll get us a bigger one so we can post it on the wall. And like, maybe, you know what I should do? I have a printer right here. I should just print out like their names on a black piece of paper, just really dark, and then take red string and pins and tie it all. Maybe that's what I'll do this weekend. Maybe I'll work on that. Draw us a little board back here. A PI who is not private. Yeah. All right. Yeah, right. This is crazy, you guys. You can't. Oh, he requested that. Of course he did. Of course he did. All right, here we roll. Oh, you could. J for Justice doesn't really count to me because she's just kind of willy-nilly throwing anything at the wall out here. She's doing a lot of deflection and distractions and stuff on her own, but I don't think it's intentional. I think that's just what she works, or like how her brain works. She just throws passes everywhere and sees what hits. Yeah, it's kind of interesting, huh? All of this should be really telling if you look at it. Betty isn't on anybody's team, so I wouldn't put her on there. We could do a whole list of just the shit creators that are doing this. Truly. She mailed it from Colorado. Did she get busted? Yep, CJ's still in the mix too. All right, so what we're going to look at right now is we are going to start with J for Justice. So we are going to look at the first interview. Now, I'm going to separate this out because Julie, the canine handler, is legit. She 100% is legit. Now, you're going to hear some things coming up in this interview, these interviews today, that don't make sense. That really do not make sense. Really? Oh my gosh. Great. It just gets better and better. I mean, so we're going to start at the Stephanie one, and you'll understand the reason why I'm skipping Julie. Julie is legit a canine handler, has military veteran, and she's not blowing smoke up anybody's butt. I think she got kind of a hold up from law enforcement. I still question her intents with releasing the information that she's released. But in the same token, I don't know. But I am going to show this before we get going. I should have pulled this up on the screen, but you guys can see this too. This is the email that was sent from Chris to Seth right here. Seth and Associates. This was Saturday on 4/27/2024 at 2:58 p.m. I have had time to consider this dog handler matter and the other requests that you have mentioned as well. My answers are as follows. Number one, dog handler. If you wish to use a dog handler to search, that is fine. However, after talking with LE agencies and Katie, the dog handler, and anyone else is being denied access to our house and property. Any form of permission to set foot on our property, as well as any other family member's property, is being denied as well. This is our official statement, and we ask that our wishes and privacy be respected at this time. Thank you for understanding. Okay. Oh, sweetest taboo, are you having a problem today? Did you get lost? Somebody drag you in here by the foot and you can't find the exit button? You know what, bitch? It's that X in the fucking corner of your screen. Ta-da! You'll go poof. It's like magic. You should try it out. It might be really fun for you. You might just magically end up somewhere else you don't want to be. Anyways, second, Tony Mathis. I'm still looking into this and I have no answer for you at this time. We have all spoken to Mr. Mathis and are considering it with each other as well as law enforcement. If you have any questions, let me know. Chris and Katie. Okay, there you go. So we are aware of what we're starting off with. Now, I'm going to be truthful with you. Poof, she gone. Look at that. Simple solution. You find the X button and you go into the universe. Anyways, we are starting with this step, and I'm going to point out some things, and there's some things that are said, and you're going to be able to track them. And I have tried to vet this information, and I ended up in a dead end with more questions. So here we go. Again, this is all under fair use. This is based on my opinion only of the bullshit that they've put out here publicly.
Oh, you don't have any scent of Sebastian's, do you? What if you got a scent? Could you get something from Seth?
The one thing I have to say about Jay is genuinely very pretty, like all natural, beautiful. She's very, very pretty.
Hey, you're live on air with Jay.
Hi, Jay. How are you?
No, Kim. Did you get lost over here too? It's posted on X. It's posted on X. You people.
I'm good. Is this Steph?
This is Steph.
Hey,
yes.
Steph.
I'm sorry. I'm driving.
Oh, you're okay. Be careful. Yeah, be careful.
In between all these, I know. Thank you. In between all these other callers, but I just wanted to let you know that I did go down there. I am from Southern California.
Okay, I'm going to pause quite a bit, and my mouse is still charging, so you'll see my arm going up. She doesn't give dates of when she supposedly went down there. So if anybody knows, clue, I get it. Yeah. It does, Revival. I was being, y'all give me credit. I'm starting off. I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying. Why everyone airing out their dirty laundry? This case has big red flags. Yeah, it absolutely does, Kim. You want to see what we were working on before you came in? You want to see some of the big red flags? Look at Seth's team. Look at Seth's team. JLR, multi-time federal inmate, 22-year-old who was set up by Seth to interview Chris's ex-wife, a PI that was supposedly well-respected that has released and dangled private information on public platforms. Brothers Underwater Recovery, who is a registered sex offender who Chloe brought in to search for Sebastian. Narc divers who just got caught up in the whole shit and thing, from my understanding. CJ, who's a complete fucking clown who grifts off the internet. T-Rev757, who has been spewing all the bullshit. Pascal, who's done nothing but spread misinformation and BS. Heather, the PI, who folded tail and then released calls that she recorded. Terry Lynn and Charlie. Charlie's a local out there searching, but unfortunately connected to Terry Lynn, who has been magically finding evidence. Brooks, who interviewed a non-existent neighbor. The lab, who is connected to Trevor Lee, which is Josh that played the recorded call. Seth Mommy Dearest. Tony Matthias, and Justin on TikTok. It's definitely got some red flags with all the people involved. 100%. And you know what the sad thing is everybody's pulling out all of the BS, and Sebastian has been the last thing anybody wants to talk about. So let's get back into this, because I think we're going to add Stephanie to the list. We're just going to decide which side she goes on. Okay.
And I was, as soon as Chris came out and knew who I was told to go away.
So as soon as Chris came out, so this had to have been a time frame when Chris and Katie were at the home. But everybody's been complaining because they haven't been at the home. They've been at this campground, correct? And by the way, BHB, I just listened to what you did. For those of you that don't know, Betty has put out the dog whistle for people to continue to stalk and harass them at the camper and go search around Horn Lake and see what they can find. She has been putting everybody on to go in and dig in further and harassing and stalking them even further, Chris and Katie. Because, you know, JLR made a post of somebody driving by with a video on Twitter today, honking their horn outside the camper. And so then the comment section gets flooded with all these questions about where's Katie. So now they're trying to find her once again and doing all this crazy stuff, once again, stalking and harassing the family of a missing child.
I had 4 bloodhounds with me. And
you are welcome.
You know, from their outward appearance, you know, they're tracking their ability, you know, the wrinkled skin, everything around them makes them, you know, be like a good, lovable dog.
Okay, I'm not, truthfully speaking, if this is a professional, I don't give a fuck if your dog is lovable or not. They are there for a job. These dogs are trained to do a job. This is not how a professional, in my opinion, speaks. The wrinkles help to trap in scent. There's a purpose for all of this. This is why they use certain dogs like this. I don't give a shit if your dog's lovable, truthfully.
Use them also as therapy dogs, because I used to be a trauma ER nurse. So they were used as that as well.
Okay, so she states that she used to be an ER trauma nurse. Okay, one check. Ready? Let's make some notes about Stephanie here, because I have questions about Stephanie here. So what do we know about Stephanie? Stephanie supposedly is from California, supposedly a dog handler. Let's just take notes. An ER trauma nurse. Okay, we're gonna have a whole hell of a lot to add to this.
So then my husband went into law enforcement, and we ended up finding a way to help people use our dogs.
Husband's in law enforcement, which we're going to add to that soon. Husband is LE. Okay.
In a whole different, you know, in a whole different capacity.
Yeah.
So we had them trained, we had them vetted, and everything like that. Now, because of the drooping ears, and you know, they do collect odors and sweep them into their nostril. And we actually had a scent of Sebastian's clothing, which they used in order to be able to go out and use their ability to you know, to go out and be scent dogs.
No, I don't know. You're the professional. Tell us. So she's claiming that they had a scent off of Sebastian's clothing. So they would have had a piece of Sebastian's clothing, meaning that was she part of one of the first teams that were brought in for dogs? That's my question. She didn't tell us the date that she was supposedly there when they searched.
They're very sophisticated, they are highly sensitive, and their scent membranes they are impeccable.
So they literally
Impeccable.
sweep it into their nose
Could be Duchess.
when they're sniffing.
Exactly.
Wow. This is fascinating to
And
me.
we can
I am
only-
fascinated by search and tracking dogs. It is so cool to me.
Ma'am, I think you would be fascinated by the little spinny wheel that you have going on there. Truly. I don't think it takes much to fascinate you, Jay. Honestly.
They are so smart and so amazing.
They are, and what's wonderful about the bloodhounds, and especially basset hounds, is they have the very long ears, and those ears are to help them smell better.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds weird, but it's something that they use to hear the sound that also helps them to smell.
Oh no, the crying's coming up. You didn't miss anything. We've got 2 streams to watch of this crying.
And the ears touch the ground and disturb the scent particles and funnel them towards the nose, if that makes any sort of sense.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It does. So did you go from California to Tennessee, Steph?
I did. I did.
Oh my
I did
God.
because
Are you back in California now?
I am, because I was.
Okay, so she flew out from California to Tennessee. All right.
Completely disappointed and hurt over the support that I gave was free.
I'm so sorry.
She did it all for free. Okay.
Don't be sorry. I'm sorry because I can't help.
So did you get the feeling that before you left California that you were going to be able to search, and then when you got there you were shut down?
Exactly.
You're kidding. They made you make that trip, and then when you got there it was, no, you're not coming in.
Mm-hmm.
They made her make the trip, or she involved herself? Can we clarify some? These people are terrible at interviewing anybody, because there should have been so much clarification of when did you go? How did you get brought in? How did you go about? Anyways.
The last time I was in Tennessee was when I went to go visit what was it called? I'm sorry, I'm just forgetting because I'm driving. It was Graceland.
So the last time she was in Tennessee before was when she went to visit Graceland. Okay.
Elvis Presley. My husband and I went there on a trip to go see Graceland, to go stay in the new hotel and everything like that. And we had a
And that has nothing to do with your dogs. Get back to the search.
wonderful time in Tennessee, and we wanted to go back. And then when we had the opportunity to go back, was to help this poor baby out.
He's not a baby. He's a 15-year-old young man.
We took a private plane.
Oh, shit. She took a private plane. Here we go. And yes, you guys, I've heard this all before. So a lot of this is sarcasm, but we're just building a time frame and pointing out things that don't make fucking sense. Okay, that's what we do. It's called nonsense, because this is complete and utter bullshit nonsense.
We don't have money.
They took a private jet, but they don't have money? So who paid for the private jet for them to get out there?
My husband makes decent money, but we took a private plane because we will not allow 4 of our dogs to be just put in cages and just flown across the country. It's not that far from here, from John Wayne Airport in California.
So they flew out of, I think it's Anaheim, where John Wayne Airport is. So we know that they came out of John Wayne. And yes, I'm making notes because you guys will see how actually this works when I do stuff. Because my bullshit meter just goes ding.
You flew your dog
to Tennessee.
To Tennessee?
Private plane.
Oh my, I
4 of
am
them.
speechless.
4 of them. 4 of them. There's many different types of bloodhounds.
Supposed to make
There's basset hounds and but ours are bloodhounds, which are designed to track. And these are the number 1 dogs with the best sense of smell that will search until they find whatever it is that they can even find dogs hanging from trees. I mean, golden retriever.
Ma'am, why are you telling us about your dogs being able to find dogs hanging from trees? Like, who the fuck is hanging dogs from trees? If that's happening, you're sick. But what is this? This thing.
Belgian Malinois, labs, German shepherds, and other basset hounds, and will do the job. But ours have the best sense of smell, and can be used for amazing purposes, especially when you need it the most. And they can smell many thousands of times better than their human, any human.
Ma'am, did you read this off of Google?
There are some dogs, that can smell better than others.
Did you also have to speak with the TBI to get cleared?
I did.
And they cleared you?
I did.
And
I was.
Did you?
My husband is in law enforcement, and when I say law enforcement, I'm not talking about, an officer who's just is going out there who wears a regular.
Gotcha.
Gotcha. Uniform.
What do you got there, Jay? What do you got? What do you got? Let her tell. Is he FBI, CIA, Secret Service? What is he? He's not a patrolman. Is that what she's trying to clarify here? You would think you would know, like, what does he do? Is he an investigator? Is he a homicide detective? Does he work cold cases? Like, it's not, this is your husband, ma'am.
He is a private investigator. He is a sheriff.
He's a sheriff and a private investigator at the same time. Wouldn't there be a conflict of interest in that? A lot of retired cops go on to be PIs because of their experience and their know-how, but isn't that we're just kidding.
He has been in the field for 45 years, and
he's been a law enforcement officer for 45 years.
He still is.
Wow.
And this was a case that really made us want to go out there, and for some reason it touched our hearts. He saw the case before I did. I had no clue. The last time we were on a private jet.
Before we get to more of the private jet craziness. So her husband was the one that was following this case. Was that on social media, or was that because of his law enforcement connections and seeing that there was an Amber Alert out of Tennessee? I need clarification here.
Was probably about 3 months after the Kobe Bryant crash, because that's where we take a private plane out of is Orange County, John Wayne Airport, which is the exact, and God bless him, but that is where Kobe Bryant took his last, flight. And
what does that have to do with Sebastian being missing, ma'am? I understand you continue to say that you took this private jet and yada, 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 and you haven't been on a private jet since this accident. But what does that matter to any of us? We want to know what your dogs did and didn't do, and the sob story of why you're crying here.
That is the closest place to us, as opposed to going to LAX, to Long Beach, or even to Burbank, because of where we live. So that is where we went. That is where we took our dogs.
So our husband's a sheriff. He's been a sheriff for 45 years. He's also a private investigator that jet sets around, but only once after Kobe Bryant's accident, who lives in Southern California. They flew out of John Wayne Airport with their 4 bloodhound dogs who use their ears to kick up scent and kick it into their nose. And she is crying about something here. And don't let me forget, she was once an ER trauma nurse.
And we were determined to bring this boy home because everything that was said and done about all these other dogs made it seem kind of, I think it took a toll on us to think like, well, you know, dogs are BS. They can't smell. They can't do this. They can't do that. When our dogs have found, you know,
your dogs aren't special, okay? Those ones of you that searched before are not special like her dogs. Can we establish that? Her dogs are lovable. Not professional, lovable. She established that in the beginning.
Bodies in the river. Over here, it's in Santa Ana, California, Garden Grove, California, Westminster, California, Costa Mesa, California. Our dogs have been trained and they smell and they find bodies in bodies of water, in lakes, in rivers, in swamps.
No.
We don't have, I mean, not.
That's
swamps,
why he's doing this to you guys. That's why he's playing these games, because he can't dispute your work. Just like the polygrapher from the.
Or maybe it could be because she's full of fucking shit. Julie, I got to give it to. Julie is 100% who she says she is, does exactly what she says she does. She is a legit professional canine handler. You can look at her Instagram fully. She's got an Instagram for her dog on top of her own personal. She is a military vet. Like, Julie didn't lie about her experience and expertise. This one,
FBI. You don't get much better than him with credentials. How can he dispute those results? You know what I mean? And I think you and Julia are like top notch. And it's like, he knew you would find something. So I just.
Jay, they are designed to track.
Speechless.
They are the number one with the best sense of smell and will search until they find their quarry, you know, which they make great hunting dogs. Not only are they their best, you know, our best friends, but they are persistent and they are built for this type of work. And their body is what helps them assist this type of job that they were born to do. And tracking is the easiest thing for them. And they love what they do. They love what they do. And I loved what we did when we were.
Ma'am, do you need a ambulance? You're getting really emotional over how much you love your dogs. I get it. I love my pets too. I get that. But I'm really starting to trail off here into what the fuck does this have to do with anything that we're talking about here?
We were down there until we were told to leave. And Chris is a piece. I'm Catholic.
You're okay.
Ma'am, she's Catholic. Let's add that to the list. Okay, that means nothing to me, except it does mean something to me in a minute. Anyways, we'll get to that in a little bit. But what does you being Catholic have anything to do with you calling Chris a piece of shit? You said you were a professional that wanted to go down there and help.
You're upset, rightfully so.
But we left. We didn't leave with our tail between our legs because we knew what we needed to do for Sebastian, because he is the ultimate victim here. And I wish we were just afforded. And I'm sorry for crying, but this really hits home.
Honey, don't be sorry.
Because this is something that I felt, you know, we spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to get our babies over there to help with the.
Okay, so she spent thousands and thousands and thousands. We don't know how many multiple thousands of dollars that she spent to get there, to volunteer her time. Okay. Why didn't you have this arranged before even leaving? You would think that there would have been some pre-planning to this and making sure that you had approval and permissions to search the places that you wanted to search before even taking off and spending thousands of dollars. That's number one red flag in this.
To search and then to come back and have to, who cares about the money? We don't care about that. We cared about help.
Then why did you mention it? Because people that say that they don't care about the money don't mention it in a situation like this. If it was about Sebastian, that would have never came out.
Find this baby.
I can't even imagine.
Because people in California, we are far from over there.
We know California and Tennessee are kind of like the whole United States apart. I mean, if you know geography.
People in we put up flyers over here at the Walmarts, at the Target, at the 7-Elevens, at the malls, every place we can. We downloaded them, we paid for them, we printed them, we sent them out.
Okay, most people who are printing stuff are paying for it. We've established that, but once again, mentioning money.
We sent them to be printed. We have them all over the place. We took our babies to go out there to help search, and we were turned away. What kind of people are they, Jay?
Parents of a missing child that are innocent until proven guilty in the court of law, and hopefully Sebastian comes home safely. That's what they are. They're parents who have been harassed, stalked endlessly because of people on the internet and fake bullshit, lies, and deflection. I'm gonna need a smoke.
I've never in my life heard of anything so cruel.
And not once does this creator do anything to try and vet that she is giving anything factual. She doesn't question her. She doesn't challenge her on anything. She doesn't ask for any type of credentials, any type of verification, any dates, nothing. Nada. Oh, yeah. Parents who are working with law enforcement. Good point. Yes.
I mean, there's so many people that would love to utilize your services for free.
For free. They talk about German Shepherds. They talk about Labrador Retrievers. They talk about, Belgian felonies. They talk about.
Unfortunately, it's pretty long, but we're not done. She went on another panel, and it gets even creepier. And there's a ton of red flags, so we're gonna look at that too.
Blue tick coonhounds and black and tan coonhounds. They talk about golden retrievers and dachshunds and all these other dogs that we have,
Yo, Sherry just walked in the door and said, bitch, I need attention. I'm here to give you some attention. You got it today. Guilty of what? Doing what law enforcement has suggested that they do? Letting law enforcement do what they need to do? What are they guilty of? Because there's factually not a crime that's been committed. We have a missing child. There is no evidence of a crime. Nothing's been ruled out, but factually speaking, there is no crime right now. There is no evidence of a crime. The parents have been cooperating with law enforcement. So again, what are they guilty of? The public not liking them because they're fed up with your fucking bullshit and your accusations that have no verification behind them. They're sick and tired of you guys using false narratives to re-victimize victims over and over again. They're sick and tired of you YouTubers, the creators who just grab onto anything and throw it out here for content, and then people run with it over and over like it's factual. You must have missed the whiteboard of all the fuckery. Sherry, you see that little X button up at the top? You might want to hit it before I hit you with some more facts, because it doesn't seem that you can handle them very well. And yes, Becky's Give a Fuck is officially broken. Welcome in. Welcome the fuck in. And if anybody's attacking Clue in my comment section, mods, and you see it, please get them out of here.
Told that can do, that are good, but nothing is better than a bloodhound. We have 4 Shar-Peis as well, including our bloodhounds. But our bloodhounds,
she's got 4 Shar-Peis as well. We can need to add that to it. What does that have to do with anything? So they've got bloodhounds and Shar-Peis. All right.
Did he?
They're bloodhounds for a reason.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. They're bloodhounds for a reason because they're good at their craft. They're good at what they do. They know what they're doing. They can smell stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The dogs that they were using over.
Lou, was it really your birthday? I think you said that the other day. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. I will not sing anymore, but happy birthday to you. And to all of you mamas, fur mamas, all of you out there, it is Mother's Day weekend. I hope you guys all, if I don't see you over the weekend, you guys have a great weekend.
There were at Chris is, direction. And when he said stop, why do you think he doesn't want anybody else around his home?
Were you actually in the action searching? And you got,
ma'am, because you're a walking red flag. I'm just gonna say it. Chris might not have said that to you, but I'm gonna say it to you. From Becky to you, you're a fucking walking red flag. You're sitting here bawling, claiming you're a professional that paid thousands of dollars and didn't even prearrange this visit or see if your services were needed. I mean, hey.
got stopped?
Yes.
You were actually on the ground with the dogs going.
Yes.
Okay, so she was actually on the ground searching without permission.
Yes.
When did he what was the reason for stopping you? Did he say? Were you picking up a scent?
My husband was around the corner and he came around and he's like, "You need to leave. Who gave you permission to be here?" And I was like, "Excuse me? I'm trying to help find your stepson." And he was like, "Nobody gave you permission to be here." I said, "We had credentials."
Ma'am, I thought you said the TBI cleared you. Frankly, I have credentials. Doesn't mean shit when you're trespassing.
Up and down the rear end. We are from California, dude. We are no strangers to this. Here you go.
If you're no strangers to it, then you would have had this all prearranged before spending thousands on a private jet.
I gave him credentials for all of our dogs because that's what we do. They have vests. They have credentials from California. They are all certified. We did not go on his property, but we did follow a scent.
But if you weren't on his property, then why was he telling you to get off his property? Can you make it make sense? Because you're all over the place and none of it's making sense. And if you had called into my show, I would have told you to get fucked because none of this makes sense. Period, point blank, end of story. Really, it doesn't.
And that's the thing is that he did not like where we were going. We were going in a whole separate direction than
Glenda, which Steph are you talking about? Because if you're talking about the red flag Steph, the one that's talking on here, where's she going? On her next trip on a private jet? Is she going back to see Elvis in Memphis? Like, where are we going here? And what is she telling us? Because she's telling us a bunch of lies so far. But that's factually speaking. I'm sorry.
What the dogs that were initially there, we were going a whole nother direction.
Jeepers. Really?
And he said, "You need to stop. You need to get out of here. You need to leave." My husband got in his face.
Yes, she absolutely said that they were cleared by the TBI. Yes. But then she said that they weren't trespassing because they weren't on their property. But Chris came out and aggressively told him to leave. And now her husband, we'll find out later how big he is too, got in Chris's face. We don't know a time frame when this supposedly all took place yet either. We're just going through the stories, right? Okay.
My husband is 6'5", 385 pounds.
And little Chris?
Talk about
So we got to add that to the list. He's 6'5", 300 plus pounds. Okay. Well, I don't know what that matters, but
talk about a size 14 shoe, right? We talk about a size 14 shoe.
No, we don't talk about a size 14 shoe because I don't care what size shoe Chris Proudfoot wears. Truthfully, respectfully, don't give a fuck about Chris's shoes. I'm worried about where Sebastian is, not Chris's shoes.
My gosh.
Well, you know what? He could have had a bigger 14 shoes shoved up his fucking ass. Excuse my language. But he was in
All right. So this is a professional who was an ER and trauma nurse. Her husband's been in law enforcement for 45 years. He's also a PI. They took a private jet. They went and saw Elvis before. She went on something about Kobe Bryant and a crash. Her dogs are credentialed. She was cleared by the TBI. Chris got aggressive and kicked him off the property, but they weren't on his property. Her husband's 6'5", 300 plus pounds. Are we all caught up? Okay.
Control back then, months and months and months ago, before all of this ended up happening. And you know what? The more I listen to it and the more we look at it, makes more sense now. And hindsight is 2020. And when we look at things, we were just thought, okay, we were asked to leave because maybe he has his own crew, his own dogs, and so on and so forth. But now that this clown has come out and
showed his true colors.
So working with the family of a missing child and calling them a clown and a piece of shit because they denied you access to their property makes a lot of sense and seems very professional. I mean, hell, we've got the most professional professionals over here. We've got PIs releasing. I mean, we got it all.
Showing his true colors, my husband said, we need to go back, except not go. Get permission to where we need to go to. Mm-hmm. Go to where we need to go to and have our dogs go out and recanvass this area. And I said, I understand, but I don't know if we're going to be well received or not, because these people,
So she wants to go back out and do another search without permission. Nobody knows she's there, but she was cleared by the TBI. Huh?
Family is out there threatening people. They are out there following people.
Okay, factually speaking, once again, we don't know. We don't have proof of any threats. That was stated by numerous people. The only threat was to United Cajun Navy that was turned into Nashville PD, not Sumner County. And CJ and his 150 and his PPP, if you're talking about threats there, which we will get into in a little bit, and you'll see why I mentioned that, is not factual threats. An RSO that was out there searching, of course, he should be threatened to get the fuck out of there because an RSO should not be searching for any missing juvenile. So where is the basis for these threats again, ma'am? And who was following around because somebody filmed JLR because he was driving up and down the neighborhood? Same with Dolly Vision. I mean, still, you're the biggest red flag in the room.
And they are out there discouraging people to look for this boy. And I'm
going to need some proof behind that. I'm going to need something to show that people are discouraging anybody and don't want this kid found, because I'm so sick and tired of hearing that, because obviously that's definitely not the case.
Wow.
100%, 1,000% sure that is happening, because that is what happened to us. And
that happened to them. They were threatened and followed around, but where's the proof of it? Oh, wait, she doesn't show any? Imagine that.
Forget about our safety. We are armed. Okay, maybe in California, we can carry concealed weapons and all that. We didn't, we went.
So she can carry concealed weapons in California, but ma'am, you said your law enforcement husband was law enforcement for 45 years and a PI. So of course he would have concealed carry permits, and, he's law enforcement, right? You said he was just like this high skilled. You couldn't even tell us his qualifications to. Anyways,
and on a private plane, we can conceal whatever we want. But the thing is that we didn't feel we needed to, because this was something different. We don't feel we need to be armed for anything like that. That is not who we are about. We are about finding these babies who are missing. And he did not allow us a chance to. As soon as I think he thought or he knew that we were going in a whole nother direction, is when he decided to pull the plug. And it's sad, Jay. It's really sad.
Okay, it's windy out here, but I'm going back inside in 1 second. I just have to say bullshit again, man, bullshit. Because carrying Becky, just let it go.
I'm subscribed to you. I have been listening to you, and I am up early in the morning.
So now we go from a professional to fangirling. Okay, I got it. So she's a fan of hers. Okay.
Regardless of the time difference, and I listen to you, and I love your show. And I finally told my husband I need to call and tell her. what is going on.
I thank you so
So she finally, I'm pointing this out because it'll come back in a minute. She finally told her husband she needed to call in. Okay. Put that in the memory bank and remember that for a minute. She told her husband she needed to call in to Jay because they're going to solve this case, right? Okay.
so
Because
much
this is
for
not
putting this out.
right.
No, it's not. It's not. And Julia is the handler that called in before you. She would like to connect with you. So I don't know if you guys can maybe exchange emails or something and get in touch with one another, because she said she feels your pain.
Thank you so much. I am so transparent. I even put my phone number in your chat, like my direct phone number. I think I put first I put 715 because I was typing, I was driving, but it was 714, and I put it in your chat because I have nothing to hide. We have nothing to hide because it is what it is all day long.
It is what it is all day long. They have nothing to hide, but the story isn't making sense at all. Okay.
And the fact that we are being kept from helping and being, coming here or going over there and offering our services for nothing. People talk about, oh, people do this and that for money. YouTube, people get clicks and they want money and all of it. But you know what? People like you who keep.
Why is she mentioning YouTube clicks and views? She's a dog handler. What would that have anything to do with this?
This out there in the air or, going are the ones who find out about people like her and me and everybody else.
Yeah.
So you know what? They want to talk their crap, but you know what? They're not out there.
Oh, Steph, pull up a seat. Take a link. I'm talking all that fucking shit today because, bitch, this don't make sense at all. Not one bit. And it gets worse because you didn't just go on this one either. You should have stopped while you were ahead.
People are listening. People are listening to you. People are listening to you. And it's people like us who gain that respect to be able and that trust to call in and say what we want to say because we feel like we have zero voice. So if other channels want to say, you're doing this for clicks, you're doing this to make money off of this or whatever, but you know what? You're doing it because you can bring out people like us to come forward who are going to help us crack this case.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we have another armchair detective that has inserted herself and thinks she's going to solve this case, who is a subscriber and a fangirl of Jay for Justice, who makes her way over to allegedly without a brain cell. Well, it's not allegedly. There is very few brain cells all combined. But, okay. She's got 4 Shar-Peis and some bloodhounds, takes private jets. Husband works in law enforcement. He's 300 plus pounds, 6'5". They weren't trespassing, but they were trespassing. But the TBI cleared them. But they went and saw Elvis before. She's an ER trauma nurse. And she drives a lot.
And that's what matters.
Wow.
And you are not like that. You are not like that. You are bringing awareness. And the awareness is that sometimes people who you think do not pay attention to you are the ones that do, exactly like me.
I appreciate that
Except
so much.
I finally had it after that freaking guy came out. I don't even remember his name, who said he wants to take care of, what's his name? The guy who wants to be the PR
the
person.
spokesperson. Tony.
Yeah. My husband was like, you know what? That's a piece of crap.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, it may be good for him. He has to go back to work, whatever. But you know what? Maybe you need to call in. And I was like, honey, why do I need to call in? He's like, somebody needs.
Oh, wait a second here. I thought you said to your husband that you needed to call in. And now your husband's telling you that you needed to call in because he thinks that the Tony guy is full of shit. I'm still adding you to Seth's team. Sorry. That's just where you're going.
To know, Stephanie. Somebody needs to know. Somebody needs to know, really. And you know what?
You know what?
He's like, the one person that I do trust is her channel. Go on it. Go call her.
Wow. Thank you
I
so
don't care
much.
what
I am
So the husband of 45 years, who's also a private investigator, trusts Jay for justice because she's got 104,000 subs and she's been sued before on YouTube. So that gives her legitimacy and trustworthiness, correct? Okay, cool.
so glad that you were comfortable enough to call in, because this
Her husband, I'm taking it, works for the ABC community.
story needed to be told. It needed to be
It
told.
does.
None of us had any idea. I mean, I had no clue that this kind of stuff was going on. We heard,
Oh my God. Like, no way. You didn't have any fucking clue that this was all bullshit. She hasn't dated it. She's spun you in circles. Like, no way. You didn't have any idea that this was really fucking going on.
about the threats and things like that, but never heard this. I mean, he not only wasted your time and resources that could have been used for somebody who truly would appreciate it, but he also, just another example of him leaving Sebastian hanging.
Exactly.
And I am so sorry. And I don't want you to take this personally, because what you do is amazing.
What the fuck exactly does she do? What does she do? Because I haven't figured it out yet, besides tell stories about trips to Tennessee and private jets and Kobe Bryant and airports and Sharpays and bloodhounds that you can, like, what?
Thank you.
And this man
I wear
is
my
a
heart on my
monster.
sleeve.
This man's a monster.
He is.
He is.
He is.
He's a monster because he's sick and tired of being threatened, harassed, and stalked online, and his wife's trauma used to re-victimize her and all sorts of stuff. Yeah, he's a monster, even though he's worked hand in hand with law enforcement. And factually speaking, there's not even a crime that anybody's been charged with right now. And factually speaking, he was on a job site and seen on a job site when all of this transpired. But yeah, he's a fucking monster because social media determined that he was going to be the villain. Okay.
I wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm a girl. I cry. Fine. Call me a bitch. Call me, if
Would never call.
Why? What, ma'am? See, this is why I couldn't do Julia, and then felt Julia was actually like composed, factual, professional, didn't answer questions that she couldn't answer. Like, yeah.
Tell you any of those things. And you know what? Someone like him,
I just feel sorry for him. He deserved better.
he did.
He deserved better. And people as far away.
He deserved better, speaking in past tense, as if he is gone. Again, where has the hope gone? This is why I have such a hard time with all the psychics and the mediums and the spirit boxes. And by the way, I said it earlier, we're up to 58 fucking channels that have done reviews on Sebastian's case that are just in that realm. It's absolutely disgusting. But since when do we completely lose hope and go right to doom and gloom?
Away as California were willing to get on a plane and fly their dogs over there just to be turned away, ridiculed, mocked, when our dogs have the utmost.
Who ridiculed them and mocked them? Oh, I am now. Fuck yeah, I am. Absolutely. I'm ridiculing you and mocking you because you've injected yourself into a missing child and once again attempted to help take focus off of the missing child. Yeah, I'm going to mock you on your own words.
Training. They have over $60,000 worth of training.
Unbelievable. A lot of us that didn't know about this situation and what it goes into your training and your passion. We heard that he wouldn't let these dogs in. We had no idea that this backstory existed.
No.
This takes his monster level to a whole new height. I mean, every day it gets worse.
He wouldn't let some deranged 6'5", 380 with a little wife running around, running dogs that you weren't trespassing on his property, but you were trespassing, but you weren't, and you picked up a scent and you were headed a different direction. He wouldn't let you in his house, but you weren't even on his property to trespass, but you got cleared by the TBI. Can you fucking make it make sense here, people? Again, unravel and listen to what's actually being stated. If any of you would have actually listened to this and got out of your emotions and sat back and realized what was being fed to you, y'all would have called bullshit on this and should have. Factually speaking, you should have said, we got questions here. This ain't adding up.
I can't imagine what this boy went through. He's willing to do this.
He's still alive.
He's willing to do this in plain view.
Mm-hmm.
That's concerning.
And that's what's frustrating is that here you had help from people who knew nothing about your stepson who you hurt. And
we don't know that Chris ever hurt Sebastian. Again, referring back to, I know what the comments are going to say. You can have your parenting style, opinions, and thoughts and everything. He was not removed from the house for abuse purposes, and that is factually speaking. So again, that incident happened years ago, 3 years ago, whatever the case may be. One thing does not always lead to another. You are making a huge leap here and making accusations based on nothing.
We're willing to go out there again no matter what. Even my husband said, when the time comes and they need help, we're there for him, because this has touched, as you know, this has touched everybody across all states. And, you know, throughout the entire world. I mean, look at where we are. We're in, you know, I'm in Southern California. I'm in Newport Beach, California.
This is unreal. I mean, I'm sorry I'm not saying more. I'm honestly.
So she claims she's in Newport Beach, California. So her husband would be a sheriff, I'm assuming, in one of the areas around Newport Beach, which it wouldn't be hard to find who the sheriff is, I'm assuming, right? Wrong.
My jaw's on the floor with this. I've never heard of someone being as cruel and as transparent all at the same time.
Oh, and then he didn't want.
Well, her lies are pretty transparent. Yeah, it's like double-sided sticky tape. Stick it to something and see what sticks.
He don't want anybody near. You know, we have a drone. We just wanted to kind of canvass the area. My husband, you know.
She also flies drones. Drone pilot. We got to add that to the list. Drone pilot.
Is like I told you, he's in law enforcement. My husband is 60 years old. I am going to be 52 in another week. And
well, happy birthday to you.
Oh, thank you.
Hold on, ma'am. Just simple basic math. If your husband's 60 and has worked in law enforcement, he's worked in law enforcement since he was 15 years old. I mean, the math ain't mathin'. And if you're 52, you were 7 when he started working in law enforcement?
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's May 17th. Thank you so much.
Yeah, happy early. Oh my God, that's my sister's birthday.
Really?
Yeah, she's a moderator here. Dr. Melmo, you share a birthday with my sister. Yes.
Oh my God,
that's awesome.
How funny. So we just decided that, you know, this is our calling. This is what our doggies are supposed to do. You know, we
This is her calling. I'm titling this called The Calling. My notes are called The Calling. This is The Calling. Husband has worked in law enforcement since he was 15. I guess back in the, you know, the 70s or something, you could have a job in law enforcement at 15. News to me.
We've helped out, you know, a lot of people here, and this for some reason just touched our heart, and we were willing to just go out there and do everything that we needed to until we were shut down. I mean, and then, you know, like I said, we have drones that can freaking we own a software company as well. So we're no dummies.
Also a software company owner. Okay. We're adding that to the list. This is called The Calling. Software company owner. Drone pilot. Okay. All right.
When it comes to how high to flying drones, you know, to make them look like, you know, you wouldn't be able to even hear them. So he had no clue that the drones even flew above and over his house, the lake. the neighbors,
Mm-hmm.
everything else.
You mean the drones that were harassing CJ when you heard the gunshots and there was other people from news media out there flying drones? Okay, cool. And EquiSearch actually brought in drones, cleared 43 ponds. I mean, but they worked hand in hand with TBI and FBI and actually provided services. Okay.
And you know what? We have a right to do that.
Deep.
And we didn't bother anybody. You couldn't even hear it, like anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, factually speaking, she just said they didn't bother anybody, but there was a confrontation with Chris when they were trespassing, but they weren't trespassing because they weren't on the property. But yet they found a scent that was leading them the opposite direction. But her 6'5", 380 husband and Chris had a stare down, and they weren't trespassing, but Chris told them to get off the non-existent trespassing property. Okay. This is a lot.
That's how high they are, and that's how technology works nowadays. So we were able to canvass the area, know where exactly we needed to go, and so that way we could see the path where the dogs needed to go to.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's when we weren't even in his property, and we went the other direction where the dogs that quote unquote were specialized to go and find his scent that he said were pieces of crap dogs. Well, you know what? Ours were not. And maybe, you know what? That's what he was afraid of.
Mm-hmm.
I got one of those piece of crap dogs too. Is sitting right here. His name's Dexter. He just, if Mal's in here, plug your dog's ears. He just thrives on TREATSs. He is still tweaking his ears.
He's afraid of having true, legitimate dogs find his stepson. And here he is still freaking playing games. He deserves.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off.
I'm sorry.
No, you're okay. I want you to get this off your chest because it's upsetting. And everybody in chat feels it with you. And you're getting lots of birthday wishes too. Just
thank you so much.
You're so wonderful. You are so wonderful.
I have 2 grandbabies.
Oh, do you really?
2 grandbabies.
Oh.
Okay, now we got to add 2 grandbabies to the list. I mean, we're just taking notes. Again, this is her professional repertoire. Okay, so she's got 2 grandbabies. I don't know what that's going to have to do with anything.
Yeah, one is 4 and the other one is 3. And
what a blessing.
They are way into technology. And
because you own a software company and your husband's been law enforcement for 45 years since the age of 15 because he's 60 and you're 52 and you have 2 grandbabies. Okay.
And it's sad, but it's true. But that's
sad, but it's true. Why is that the repetitive? The Calling. It's sad, but it's true. Maybe that's what the title of this should be. The Calling. It's sad, but it's true.
That's that's how it is, right?
Yeah. And happy Mother's Day to you as well.
Are you mom?
Of course. Yeah, I'm a grandma too.
Oh, happy Mother's Day to you.
Thank you. 1 and 1 on the way.
Oh my God. Yay!
I know.
Yeah. No.
Good stuff.
I'm even just like I'm putting stuff together because like I bought my mom a Mother's Day ring and which she has no idea, which has me, my mom, me, my sister, my daughter, and her 2 grandbabies, on the.
Okay, so she's got a sister and a mother. Okay, that's pretty common. I mean, again, this is the professional repertoire here that I give the fuck up because so many of these people have the most amazing backgrounds. I've never heard anything like it on YouTube.
The ring, and I was looking at it, and I bought off of Amazon. I bought her name is Rose, so I bought a rose case. I bought a rose case, and you flip it open, and it has like an LED light which shines on the actual ring.
Oh, wonderful! It's magical.
So I know. So I was like wrapping all that and putting everything away. And then we're just going to kind of like celebrate my birthday,
get through that,
all at once. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, I was excited, but then I also couldn't just ignore the fact nor let it go by any longer because I have been hesitating. I have been trying to figure out who to call to.
But I thought you said that your husband suggested you call in. Well, first you said that you decided and told your husband that you needed to call in, and then you switched it within 2 minutes and said that your husband said that he trusted Jay and you needed to call in, and now you couldn't decide who to call into, but you needed to get this out there. Ma'am, I need to have a chat with you because I need some clarification on this bullshit, because right now you are like the biggest red walking flag I've seen.
I told my husband the only person that I really trust is Jay.
Aw, that means so much to me, Steph. Thank you.
And I saw when you got, you're welcome, honey. And I saw when you got your play button.
You did. Thank you for your support. That means so much. It really does. You're going to make me cry.
You deserve it. And only God knows why certain things are put into, your chat, in your hands, in your channel.
Yeah.
But there are people who will put you down no matter what. And please stay strong, because there's
what? How did this just turn into a therapy session, TED Talk about you hit 100K, yay, cheers for you, into a birthday celebration, and now into a therapy session of don't let anybody cut.
People that need you like I do.
Thank you.
To help me and to help us get through things and to help us get to the bottom of what we need to get to the bottom of. And I hope one day we will.
Beefers, did you just get here? I can give you a quick synopsis of a rundown of what we've found out so far about this. They are from Newport Beach, California. Her husband has been in law enforcement since he was 15 years old. He is now 60 years old, and he's worked in law enforcement for 45 years. They flew out of John Wayne Airport, Costa Mesa, on a private jet. They spent thousands of dollars. She has 4 Shar-Peis and a couple bloodhounds. She used to be an ER and trauma nurse. She is also Catholic. Do not forget that. She offered the free services, but is complaining about thousands of dollars wasted on a private jet that they could carry weapons on, but they didn't carry weapons on. But her husband, who was 6'5", 380 pounds, came around the corner when they were not trespassing. However, they were trespassing, but it wasn't trespassing because they were cleared by the TBI previously. However, there was an altercation where her 6'5", 380 husband got in Chris Proudfoot's face, and he told him to get off their property, but they weren't trespassing on their property. They also own a software company and can fly drones. Did I miss anything in there? Oh, and she's 52, and she's a fangirl of Jay's. Okay, there's your quick synopsis for anybody. Just kidding.
Be able to do that because I have plans on going back. If it's not the day of my birthday, I hope to go back. My husband said it doesn't matter.
Oh, that's right. And she's also got 2 grandbabies, a mother and a sister. Her birthday is coming up, and she is celebrating Mother's Day. She's also a fan of Elvis. The last time she'd been in Tennessee, she was visiting Elvis in Memphis at Graceland.
No matter how much it costs, money goes and comes. When you die owing taxes.
Mm-hmm. Money doesn't mean anything.
Wait, it means nothing. And if it means bringing this baby home, then...
Wait, how the fuck did we get off into owing taxes when you die? This is worse than the fucking neighbor interview that was fake.
Then that's what it means. And you know what? We'll go on our own. And I told him that's what I want for my birthday present, is to at least go out and help and bring this baby home, or at least go out and help. And you know what? If it means closure, if we are looking for other than a living human being, and if it means that we are looking for a body, then you know what? We need to give that family closure. We need to give Seth closure, regardless, so he can.
And she is Team Seth. That's why she is appropriately on the whiteboard under Seth's team. So yeah, Beefers. Yeah, there's somebody just found out too. Like, none of this adds up.
Give his son what he needs, because you know what? At this point, in this many days, it's very, very hard. But we're willing to take our doggies down to go continue. and search. And you know what? I can guarantee you we're not asking Chris for crap. He's not even in the same fucking state.
No.
So he can go sit his ass down and continue to make fake calls.
So she's working in a professional capacity as a dog handler who is volunteering her service and spending thousands of dollars, although they are broke, to go down and volunteer to bring closure to this family. But she has called Chris a clown, piece of shit, and now all of this. And Seth is the only one that deserves closure. Okay, gotcha.
On a
pranking.
recorder or whatever he wants to do, right?
Pranking.
Be fake. I'm not being fake. I left my freaking number out there for everybody to see.
No, we believe you 100%. And it's cruel.
And I'm
It's
telling
cruel.
you where I live. It is, Jay. It is. But I just want you to know that I'm subscribed.
You're like,
But the most important thing, Jay, I'm subscribed to your channel.
subscribe. You are so funny. You are so cute. Thank you for trusting me to call it. I love you. I do.
I'm a lifer, right?
I mean,
I hate to take up so much more.
No,
of your
you're
time,
not.
but
You're
I thought that
perfect.
was important.
I
thought this was
appreciate that.
Very, very important.
Like I'm walking
Because-
away here with my jaw on the floor from Chris Proudfoot, but also just what you just said, just really to know that I do make a difference. I mean, that's a testament. And
Oh, hell yeah, you make a difference when it comes to putting out misinformation. You are spot on. You make a difference. You put out the most salacious, stupid bullshit and you believe every bit of it and then act like it's fact.
You do. You do.
I thank you for
And
sharing
why?
that.
It's because of you. It's your personality. It's your determination. It is everything and anything about you that helps. And now I know why you have so many subscribers is because you are an amazing person.
And so are you.
And you're easy to talk to. Thank you. You're easy to talk to. And
Oh, I also forgot she's an ER and trauma nurse too.
you don't talk down to people. And you allow us. And you give us a voice. You give us a voice. And this is why you are here. And this is your calling. And I want to tell you thank
We are definitely retitling this to the calling.
you so much for taking my call. And I will keep in contact with you because you know what? I'm going back. Now that I talked to you, I have grown some cojones.
I'm proud of
Notice how she says that.
you. I am proud of you. I am, and I bet your husband
And-
is too. I bet he's cheering you on.
Oh shit, did she forget she has a husband for a second and forgot what she said about him?
Thank you, Kate.
Listen, you have my number. This is the you can text me on this. Let's talk. Let's get you and Julia hooked up because she is going to search again too. And she would like to
I am
talk with
too.
you. She had no idea
Oh,
you were
stop.
threatened.
The problem-
And I mean, there's so much.
Clue.
We were threatened beyond even followed.
They were threatened beyond and followed, but there's no proof of it.
Followed. Threatened, followed, and harassed.
Did you guys
And you know
tell?
what? When people
Did you guys tell the LE that?
Oh, we did. Yes.
Okay.
We my husband, yeah, he was there. He said, and we have pictures. That's the crazy thing is we have pictures, which we turned over to law enforcement. So they're aware.
Wow.
But law enforcement has stated that there wasn't.
They're aware.
So they are aware. So
Yeah.
when they said no one's reported anything, that's just a
BS.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Whoops.
They're holding stuff
Mhm.
that they obviously cannot say,
Right.
will not say.
Right.
Like I said, my husband, he's like, Stephanie, they're gonna just say anything, whatever.
Because I
But
was wondering
the
that. I'm
fact
like,
that
why
he's
are none
been-
of these people reporting it if this is truly happening? And then it really gets the rumor mill going,
Yeah, it does. And like I said, he's been in law enforcement. He knows firsthand,
Mhm.
private investigator, not private investigator, but down here in California, it is considered, when it's maybe he deals with
Why is she having a hard time spitting out what her husband's job is?
RICO investigations, which are very, very intricate.
Yeah, complex.
So he is,
He deals with RICO investigations in California. That doesn't happen in every state, just California, I guess, according to this woman.
So he knows, and his, he never sleeps without one eye open. So
So her husband sleeps with one eye open. He's the one eye bandit. Okay, we're going to add that to the list. Husband sleeps. Ma'am, I think if you are married, he probably sleeps with one eye open because of you. Not to be mean, but this is quite the story. So there might be another reason for one eye open.
Because that's just the way it is.
I'm picking
when
up. I'm picking up what you're laying down, girl. And I'm liking it, a lot.
Of course you're liking it because you probably realize this is bullshit.
So
you and your husband are amazing, both of you. And I hope you have the bestest 52nd birthday and the bestest Mother's Day. And we will talk soon.
Same here.
Do you have any kind of crowdsourcing social media? Do you have anything where anybody can?
You mean like a legit 501c3 because they're a volunteer search organization? That would make sense, at least.
I do.
Get in touch with you.
Can I send it to you?
Yeah, you can send it to me. You can put it in chat, whatever you want to do.
Okay, no problem. I will do that.
Okay, yeah. Let us know if you don't put it in chat. I will share it when I get it from you.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you.
And from the bottom of my heart, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I cried.
Don't be sorry. Don't you apologize. I'm going to hang up on you if you apologize for crying.
But that's just, it is what it is. Reality is reality. And you cannot fake this shit.
Can't even make it up. Nope.
So,
nope.
You just tried and failed miserably at it, but sad but true.
So thank you. I'm going to continue watching you while I make dinner. And I love you, Jay. I'm glad I got to talk to you.
I'm so glad I got to talk to you too.
I love you, Jay.
Steph, bless you.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Put a smile on your face.
Turn that frown upside down. We're not done, friends. We're not done. Jan is right. I know. Y'all, I have to laugh at this point because the madness and the insanity, again, the shit that has been going on is so unnecessary. It is so disturbing. I actually broke down last night and was so frustrated because this call was released intentionally yesterday. I have screenshots proving that. I'm going to show you guys that too when we get this wrapped up. Because of Chris's court hearing, they intentionally they held this and released it yesterday. I'll find that. Detective Golden and CJ's chat was breaking it all down and saying exactly what happened. And it's just sad. It's fucking sad. None of this is necessary, but we need to talk about it. Are you guys ready? Are you ready? Because we're not done. We're really not done. So far, this is what we've got. Okay, let's give a quick rundown. Ready? All right. This is called The Calling. Sad but true. This is her professional resume. This is Steph, the dog handler from California. She has bloodhounds who use their ears to pick up scent and trap them in their folds. She also has 4 Shar-Peis. She used to be an ER and trauma nurse. Her husband is law enforcement. He has been in law enforcement for 45 years. She can't tell you what he actually does, but he works in RICO investigations. So meaning he would be some sort of detective or something of that nature. He also has been a law enforcement officer since he was 15, according to her, because he is 60 and she is 15. They do have fuzzy vests. She didn't claim what kind of vests they were, so I'm just imagining them like in the little, fuzzy vests or whatever. They also own a software company. Her grandkids are really smart with the internet and technology. However, they're only 3 and 4. She is from Newport Beach, California. Again, ex-ER trauma nurse. She likes to fly on private planes. The last time they were on a private plane was before the Kobe Bryant incident, which was a helicopter, which has nothing to do with it. However, here we are. Anyways, the last time she was in Tennessee, they went and visited Elvis at Graceland. Her husband is 6'5", 380 pounds. They were not trespassing. CBI had cleared them. However, they were trespassing. And there was a confrontation of Chris Proudfoot and her husband. They found a scent and it took him a different direction. We don't know what direction that actually was factually. It could have been all over the place. She is also a drone pilot. She likes to carry weapons. She's got 2 grandbabies. Did I say that yet? Anything? Oh, and her husband sleeps with one eye open. I think that about sums it up. Oh, and it was free. The service was free. The service that they offer is free. However, it cost them thousands and thousands of dollars, and they did not get it cleared before they went. Oh, right. Her dogs are sweet and cuddly. Yes, she loves her dogs. Yep. Okay, are you ready to listen? Oh, yeah. And she mentioned Chris's shoe size. And she's a fangirl of Jay for Justice. And originally her husband told her that, or she told her husband that she needed to call into one of these shows. And then within 2 minutes, it switched to her husband told her she needed to call into that show because her husband only trusted this creator. And she is Catholic. She is Catholic. Don't forget, we're going to need that point in a minute. Oh my God. You can't make this shit up. Why do I do this? It's actually kind of funny though, because it's just like the biggest circle jerk of all times. Okay, so we are going to go to Allegedly Without a Brain Cell because she made her way over to this panel to discuss everything. And y'all, her full name is on here. Now, I'm not encouraging anybody to do this, but she actually states that she has an Instagram account and she follows CJ. Her full name is on here. According to her Instagram profile, she is an esthetician, a beauty something, makeup something. So we got to add that to the list too. Okay, here we fucking go. This gets even worse because you can only imagine the intelligent questions that are about to be asked. Again, this is all under fair use. We're going to about the 2:25-minute mark. Everybody get your helmets on because this is a wild one.
You should see mute cam. Click on that cam. It should say stop cam. There you go. You got it. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Hi, Steph.
Oh, hi.
Okay, so she comes up. Hi.
Thank you for letting me be on.
And because it's on a public profile, I can repeat it to you. It's under the little red mark here, but she goes by Steph Esparza. Stephanie Esparza.
Panel with you guys.
No, absolutely. Hey, I would much rather be able to talk to you than to listen. It's I think we can ask direct questions. We actually we were talking with Julia last night. She came up and
she's wonderful.
Oh, I know. She's so sweet. We got to see the dogs. It was great. She's so knowledgeable. How are you? Are you doing okay?
I'm doing better. I'm doing a lot better.
Yes, this is the same dog handler that you just heard on Jay for Justice. She is doing a panel tour, so now she pops into Allegedly at no brain cells.
Although I did get many threats for coming out and doing the right thing.
Oh my.
So she's got additional threats since coming out and talking on Jay's panel for doing the right thing. We don't even quite know what that thing actually was. It's called the calling, though. That's all we know. The calling, sad but true. She got more threats for it.
Goodness, are you kidding me? See, that's horrible. That's the unfortunate dark side to these cases. I'm not sure why we get these bad actors. I personally feel like there's some type of
you don't know why we get these bad actors, but you don't vet anything that you put out here as fact. Okay. And you wonder why you're a bad actor.
Narrative, if you will. I want to be careful how I can say it, but
right.
Let me just say that there's a lot of weird stuff happening lately and a lot of
it's gonna get weirder even yet.
threats going around.
Threats that nobody can verify or show publicly, though. Non-existent threats. Again, it's kind of like, you know, just things that we say that aren't really happening, but we use them to say it because it sounds cool. So sick.
I don't get it. Like
I don't either.
I really don't. This little boy has touched our hearts. I'm like I said, I'm just.
And we are 2 minutes in and we are crying already.
Just a girl with a heart.
Just a girl with a heart.
I get emotional because I have my daughter. I'm a grandmother now because I'm going to be 52 years old in May 17th.
Oh, you are beautiful. Let me tell you.
Thank you.
You're absolutely gorgeous, girl.
My daughter, she actually works in plastic surgery, so I get.
So now her daughter works in plastic surgery. No shame there. Hell, Kenzie, get a job. I mean, she has a job, but I take some maintenance. Hell yeah. No shade there.
Oh no. Oh no. If you can hear me, guys, give me just a second. My headphones. Oh, this is so embarrassing. I'm gonna have to go get my other headphone cable because I cannot hear anybody. Oh my goodness. Nana, if you can hear this, can you please talk to Stephanie until I can grab this? I'm gonna go grab my other headphone cord. I am so sorry, guys.
Gotcha, Britt. Stephanie, we appreciate everything you did, and we're very sorry that you made that trip. And
oh, Nana, can you stop with the fake fucking bullshit for one goddamn time? This whole little, I'm so innocent and sweet. Thank you for what the fuck did she do? Can anybody tell me? Because none of her story makes sense. I mean, we've got a whole resume of shit that none of it even adds up. So what are you thanking her for doing? Crying? Being a fangirl of Jay for Justice? Like, what the fuck did she actually do here?
it's not what you expected it to be, but I think a lot of people in chat might want to know, are you going to come back?
I really want to. I also have to be mindful that I need to make sure that I do this in a professional way and make sure that I don't trigger anybody or anything, because as much as we want to do the right thing, there are a lot of people who make it very hard to continue for you to do the right thing. And when you have children, when you have grandchildren, you think about them as well. And what happens if, grandma can't be there for you because, she went out and did this or that. And I'm not saying anything like that is going.
Ma'am, if you're going to do a service and use your dogs, this is why, there's such a difference. I encourage you to listen to the Julia piece because Julia is very informative. She's very factual. She's very informative about dog scents, tracing. She even talks about how limited the scent would even be and how they would have to go about it. And this is totally out of left field.
To happen, but it's reality. It's reality. I wanted to go back. I'm still planning on going back on my birthday.
Well, if you don't feel
confused.
Yeah. I have two grandchildren, so I understand.
You for everything you do. Stephanie,
I get so emotional thinking about it. I'm so heartbroken. I'm so heartbroken.
What are you heartbroken over?
Hold on, I'm sorry. Stephanie. I gotta compose myself.
You're fine. Go ahead. You very much. I can understand and see. I imagine it's a little hard for you as well because, we all can relate. We feel like we honestly know this child because.
Meanwhile, they very rarely talk about Sebastian. It's all the drama that they talk about. And factually speaking, no, you don't know him.
And I know that you probably kept up with a lot of things as well. But you've been there. You've been boots on the ground. So,
and where's the proof that she's been there?
I can only imagine, being face to face with Chris and actually being in that overall area, how surreal that must have been for you.
It was, and it was
bullshit. If she's a professional, this is what they're trained to do. And they go in and keep their emotions in check, because a lot of times, if they're cadaver dogs, first and foremost, they're there to look for a deceased body. If they're using cadaver dogs, they know that they potentially might come across something, and they need to keep their emotions in check first. Like, that's right off the bat. This is because oftentimes there is family members around. They absolutely, dog handlers are completely professional when they get on a scene. This whole bullshit here is exactly what it is. It's fucking nonsense.
It was actually very, it has become very traumatizing. No, well, I shouldn't say traumatizing. I should say.
Yeah, you should probably not use traumatizing, because you don't have a child that is missing like they do. And they're not out here lying about you like you are about them.
It has just been very, very hard to deal with the fact that you're trying to do the right thing and you get stopped in your tracks and you feel helpless when you feel you have all the power in the world to be able to go find someone who's.
Oh, don't worry. CJ's going to jump on panel too. It's a star-studded panel, like 1111 says.
Someone loves and needs and wants. And then you get stopped in your tracks. Literally. How does that make sense? How do you process that? How do you say that, you know what, I'm doing the right thing, let me go. Let me go.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go find him. And I feel like,
ma'am, I don't think anybody's holding you down. You said the TBI cleared you. Chris said not to trespass on property. Like, your stories don't add up. Mike, thank you so much. Like, this is just unbelievable, y'all. Completely unbelievable. Lippy, thank you for becoming a member.
Like, I'm just being held back.
Yeah, defenseless. Mm-hmm.
And it's so hard for us to, we know our laws here. We don't know the law in California. We don't know the laws over there. But I don't know. I'm so conflicted right now because, like I said, I've been getting, threats and death threats of going back out there.
Unbelievable.
Is someone afraid that my poor bloodhounds are gonna help find?
Yes, I believe that.
I need to see proof of the threats, and you should have done a better job of, instead of just going on. They will take anything for content. They really will. They're not even vetting this or asking appropriate questions. Like, what are you talking about? When did you actually go there? When any of this stuff?
I think so. I think so. Steph, can you say when the threat started? Was it
2 days ago?
So 2 days ago. So this interview was last night. So 2 days from, so the 8th, the 7th of May, she started getting threats.
Unbelievable. Wow. That.
Because I've kept to myself this entire time, and I don't want to mention other creators, or I know you know what I mean. And so my husband is more on this YouTube, thing, because of law enforcement, and everything is done with, you know how that works. So, he said, I think that we need to say something, Stephanie. And I'm like, why? Why do we need to say anything?
So now the law enforcement official husband who works on RICO investigations, who's 6'5", 380 pounds, once again, he said that they needed to speak up. Okay.
He's like, it's not for, I just want people to know that we tried to help and that we were turned away. And I said, shouldn't you do that? He's like, I want to, but I don't want other things to come out of my mouth that I can't, because I have to be professional, because I have been for the last 45 years.
Again, 45 years in law enforcement. He started when he was 15 because he's 60 years old. Okay, math ain't mathing, but that's factually what the math would be.
You know, being in law enforcement. He said, and I can't, because I cannot promise you that I will not unleash and tell, you know, exactly what it is I feel.
A sheriff who lacks self-control over a case in Tennessee of a missing child, but you would think that being in law enforcement for 45 years, they would know how to be professional, even in the worst of circumstances. I mean, that would be factually speaking. Again, this is called, for anybody that's just coming in, this is called The Calling. Sad but true.
And how bad this is.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm a retired emergency room nurse. And like I told you, I think, you know, I said we own a software company, and I know I'm all over the place right now. It's just because it still hurts, because I have her family contacting me now. How, you know, how ironic. I get.
Whose family? Whose family's contacting you?
I'm getting, you know, death threats. I'm getting all this other stuff. You know, forget about the death threats. You know what? My house is wired. My house is.
If you're getting death threats, you should probably be turning it into your law enforcement husband, but your house is wired, I would assume, because you own a software company and you're a drone pilot who flies on private jets. Say it ain't so.
Wired like, you know, Fort Knox. So, you know, you can't even open the front gate. We have a tall front gate.
You can't even open the front gate, y'all. Just stop trying, okay? She's getting death threats. They have a fence that's, fuck, oh dear. It's wired better than Fort Knox, she said. I just got to tell you what I'm really thinking, and I know I need new buttons, but this is where my brain's
at.
What
we've got here is failure to communicate.
That's all I gotta say. This is
all around our home. You need a code to get in. You couldn't get in if you tried, unless you tried to jump the fence. And even at that, it's going to catch you, and it's going to, you know, the alarms are going to go off like crazy. So if anybody thinks that your threats, like I'm afraid of, I'm not. Go ahead, try me. I'm here for it, you know?
Well, and yeah, I heard you mention your husband's about what, 6'3", 300.
6'5".
Oh, 6'5". There you go.
308. Yeah, we're 380 pounds. And he's not like sloppy big, you know, he's just a tall guy. He's big boned, you know.
He's just big boned. We got to add that to the list. He's not sloppy big. He's just big boned. Okay, I got it.
Oh, and that's, and you know, the last time he got weighed is because he had his boots and his belt and his, you know, gear on and everything like that. So maybe you might want.
So the last time he got weighed, which she would know all this, would be with all of his gear on. Okay.
Want to take 20 pounds off of that, because
literally, I mean, you really want to mess with her? I doubt it.
And Chris saw who he was, and I think that the only reason that he felt like, you know, he had control over the situation was to tell us to leave. And you know, we're professional. Fine, you know, if you want us to leave, we'll leave. You know, height, weight, size right now, it doesn't matter. It's about this baby who's missing. So we weren't going to sit there and try and say or do anything or compare things. That's not what, that's beyond anything, you know.
Can we speed her up a little bit, y'all? Because this is making my head like pound over here, because this is so much bullshit, factually speaking.
Although Chris likes to make reference to himself, but you know what? Right now is not the time.
Right now is not the time at all for what? Oh, people to come out and lie about completely useless bullshit?
We need to find this baby. And right now I'm just really, really, conflicted. I don't know what I want to do right now.
Well, first and foremost, you have to make sure that you're safe. You and your husband are safe.
Ma'am, did you hear what she said? She claims that her husband's law enforcement. I would assume that they would be safe. So you're preaching to the choir, but maybe you should vet these people before you bring them up to let them spew bullshit. Because factually speaking, Miss Stephanie is a full of fucking shit clown. That's the truth, though. She's acting as she's in a professional setting. Stephanie, why don't you come out and tell them all the truth about what you actually do?
You know, I don't want you to do anything that would put you at risk. Because to be honest with you, Stephanie, we don't know.
You know, the only thing that's putting her at risk is involving herself uselessly and lying about an active missing person, a child's case. That truthfully isn't even a case at this point in time. It's a story. That's the only thing putting her at risk, is interfering with an active investigation, an open investigation into a missing minor, and completely fabricating and lying about his stepfather for fucking content on the internet. That's the only thing that's putting yourself in safety.
What people are capable of. Did you see Nina's interview, his ex-wife Nina?
I saw Nina's interview. But I mean, I guess they had a court date today as well.
Oh, yeah.
And so I heard, about her and her experience.
So she's a professional dog handler. She was confused about that. But you notice how she just brought up Nina? You see how she brought up Nina in the court date? You think there's not some ulterior motives here, my friends? You know why she got added to Seth's team? Why do you think she's mentioning Nina? I wonder if they know each other. That's just one of my questions.
I actually listened to that on the plane when we were over there. So I only heard it, it's going on like 4 days now. So I barely heard it. And didn't know what we were getting ourselves into, but
Oh, wait a second. Now it's a private jet. I forget they have onboard Wi-Fi. So she watched the Nina interview when she was in the air, I guess, 4 days ago. So she's saying that they took a plane on May 6th. She flew out there May 6th. So this just happened. Wait a second. I thought Chris went back to work. So how were they at the house confronting Chris when he wasn't even at the house? They've been, oh shit, more of your story that doesn't make sense. And not one of you, Brittany J, this is why you're a fucking joke. A fucking straight up goddamn clown that shouldn't have a fucking true crime nothing, because you can't even vet what it's being said. I don't know. I'm curious if she knows her, because you see how she brought that up. And then she says 4 days ago when she was on the plane.
We just said, hey, he's going to help us no matter what. This is his stepson who he says he treats like his son. So we're going to get somewhere. We're going to do this. Let's go. We were so motivated. We had so much, we were excited.
You owe it to these victims and their families to do better if you're going to let somebody on your panel to spew fucking shit. This is why I don't like you. It's nothing to do with personal shit, but you should have vetted this instead of pushing it off to your audience. You should have called her on this, challenged her on this, because this is doing nothing but a character assassination of Chris Proudfoot and Katie Proudfoot, who have a missing child, not to play fucking games. And you're encouraging these games to be played. It gets worse from here.
That we could, hopefully get to the bottom of this. And I think when we started to dig a little deeper, we got pushed away.
I have a couple of questions for you, if you don't mind.
She goes by Steph F. Speranza. I couldn't tell you. I haven't seen her. I don't know what she looks like. I mean, I've seen a picture of her Instagram. She'll promote that here in a minute. But factually speaking, she's full of shit, y'all. She's completely full of shit. She's a professional. She said she's completely transparent. She doesn't have anything to hide. I did my homework. I'm not this dumb blonde that just sits here and feeds you a line of garbage. I knew what I was getting into when I pulled this out.
Okay, so Britt's asking,
I don't know.
Can you ask her what TBI's response was to hearing God?
It's your birthday. You can eat edibles if you want to. I might need to by the time we're done with this too.
All of this. Like, did you guys reach out to TBI and tell them that you were?
Yes. My husband, because again, he's in law enforcement down here in California. He was able to talk to them and go ahead and get clearance from them. And we were asked for credentials well, first my husband was asked for all his credentials here in Southern California, which the laws are very, very different.
So now wait, what? Her husband, because he's credentialed that? No, ma'am. No, none of this is factual. None of it. I'm just telling you right now. She goes on and on, but none of this is factual. I just hope you guys know that. This is, again, please don't take my word for it. Go question it. Go do your own. You can look it up. She's public. It is what it is.
Especially when it comes to, being armed and having, been vetted for all these things. So once he was cleared by that, everything else kind of just like fell into place. And they were like, okay, fine, you can go ahead. It's not a problem. He's like, look, I heard about this. There's some guys that were, like I heard talking.
Clue says it ain't for my birthday. It's just to tolerate these idiots. I get you. Totally get you.
At my work, we want to help. I'm here to help. This is my mission. This is what I do.
This is her mission.
My husband also has a canine unit that he uses only when he is assigned to a particular task. Again, here in California.
But her husband only works on RICO investigations, but he's got a canine unit too. And he's also a PI. And they also own a software company. And she's an ER trauma nurse. Oh my God, my list is now my head. Do you see why my head gets jumbled up?
Things are run very, very differently. So I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought.
I lost mine too. Thank you.
That's okay, sweetheart.
Yeah, drone pilot.
That's a lot. You were just saying that we were asking about what TBI's response was to, being ran off by Chris. Mm-hmm.
Well, he gave all his credentials. We gave the credentials for the dogs. Everything was cleared. And again, since my husband is in law.
But don't forget, her husband is in law enforcement, and her 4-part Shar-Pays wear vests. They might be the puffy little winter vests, even though she lives in Southern California where it doesn't really have a winter. But they have vests and they have credentials. And her husband works in law enforcement. Don't forget that. They're also drone pilots, software company owners, and so much more.
Law enforcement down here, they had to run his credentials as well. So it was like, okay, everything's going to be great. Law enforcement over there, they had nothing bad to say. They have nothing to do with anything. It was Chris who ran us off.
They have nothing to do with anything except for they're leading the investigation into the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers. Law enforcement doesn't have anything to do with anything. However, they're leading the investigation. Make that make sense.
Bottom line is that who ran us off. So we could have shown Chris all the credentials that we showed law enforcement.
And don't forget, her husband sleeps with one eye open. You wonder why?
He didn't care.
He didn't care. He cared about what he wanted and what the outcome that he wants.
And except for none of this is factually speaking, because again, she said this happened on May 6th and Chris would have been out of town at work, right? So there again, sorry, calling bullshit because it's bullshit.
I'm sorry to say it, but you know what? I'm so sick of this because we want to help. We're here to help.
Too.
So I'm assuming law enforcement didn't go with you when you went there.
I'm sorry, law enforcement didn't what?
Law enforcement didn't go with you when you went there?
Well, we didn't need
to. Your husband?
We didn't need to because of my husband, and he had his badge on him as well.
He would be considered law enforcement. Yeah,
exactly. Yes.
No, actually, that's not how that works. If he's in a completely other state, unless he's working in some federal capacity or under law enforcement, something like that, his badge would have nothing. He's a civilian. He would be a civilian acting in a capacity of a search and rescue team with dogs. That's Lord bless us all.
So, and because he's been in it for so long, and it literally took about 16 hours for him to get vetted and everything like that.
Right.
So, and again, the amount of years that he has, and he's not just law enforcement. Again, it's it has a lot more to do with that, with things that happen over here in California, as
like RICO, because RICO only happens in California, I guess, according to her, which is not factually speaking either. Again, he's worked in law enforcement since he was 15 years old, though. So what the fuck do I know? I guess he just writes his own rules. Or this lady writes a complete bullshit narrative. Again, this is called The Calling. Sad but true. The fictional version.
The drug cartels, the RICO,
drug cartels,
cases,
of course.
and all that.
We'll throw that in
It's
there.
so in depth that the qualifications that you need to have are so high, and they hold you up to a certain standard. And my husband has been around since, I don't know if you guys remember the Richard Ramirez who was stalking California for years.
He's referred to as the Night Stalker. Yeah, most people in true crime probably. Oh God, please.
It was a really, really
Oh,
bad case, and they called him the Night Stalker. My husband, was one of the first people to, meet Charles Manson to put this Night Stalker away.
Oh,
So,
wow.
oh my God, her husband met Charles Manson and helped put the Night Stalker away.
So he's no stranger, to a lot of different things, a lot of different people. El Chapo, I think everybody knows who El Chapo is.
Yeah.
My husband was on the plane taking him down to ADX Florence in Colorado.
Wow.
So my husband is more than vetted, and I'm just trying to be as transparent as possible.
So her husband flies a lot on private jets with high profile inmates.
So people understand that the people who are in chat or whoever listen to this, chat after chat, channel after channel, that we are not some, I don't want to say regular.
You know what you're doing. Yeah.
Exactly.
Ma'am, you're a regular ass liar. Yeah, you're terrible at it too. Sorry. I just got to call it what it is. This is all bullshit. Complete bullshit. Every bit of it. Bullshit.
I don't want to say regular. We are regular. We have credentials. We have stuff to back things up with.
Please tell me their internet cut out. We couldn't get so lucky.
Shoot.
We can still hear the.
Did my headphones go out again? This is a disaster.
Lord bless it. We need a bigger whiteboard because now we got Richard Ramirez and Charles Manson involved too. Does she have her own channel?
Steph, can you hear me?
Okay.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think.
Okay.
I think that,
All
okay.
right.
Are
I
you
have
back,
an
Rick?
important. Yeah. Thank you. I'm so sorry. These headphones.
No, it's okay.
Okay. So Audacity is asking, and a lot of people are asking me in chat, said, can she answer why she needs to get in their house and why she can't search at all if it's not the house or the property? Is he the gatekeeper for the entire state? Like, was he like trying to run you guys off?
I'm not
the neighborhood
getting it.
entirely. I think that's what she's saying. Like,
I'm sorry. I'm not understanding clearly. Like, I think, is it because of laws, how they're different from Tennessee to California, or?
I think what they're asking is like, even if you can't search his property, couldn't you guys search around?
Well, we did. That's the thing is
Okay.
we did. And that's when we were threatened.
But you weren't trespassing and the TBI cleared you and he just said, oh, ma'am.
Wow.
And we were told to leave. We did not. One thing is for sure is private property is private property. We know 1,000% better than to go into anybody's property.
But you claimed you were searching on private property. You also claimed that this happened 4 days ago on the 6th. However, it's been stated that he wasn't there. He's at the campground because people are stalking him actively. Can we make this make sense, people?
When we were out in a different area, and that's when I said our bloodhounds were going like crazy. We were threatened. Well, first of all, we were followed for quite some time.
Oh my.
And it didn't scare me because, there were lots of people around us as well. No, not lots of people, but there was, a handful of people, I should say, around us. And so we're like, we're fine. We're fine.
There was a handful of people around them. Huh? Did somebody just crank up the spirit box session again? Because what is happening here?
But
and y'all
when you go the next day,
what?
And the same people that followed you the day before are there again and watching everything you're doing, taking a video, taking a picture of you doing that, they're following you.
Wow.
And there comes a point in time where you have to say, enough is enough. and you got to pull the plug. I mean, what?
Yeah, I'm pulling the plug on your entire story. You're nothing but a fabricated fucking liar, factually speaking. But you don't want to do that. I'm pulling the plug and saying enough is enough. We're going to continue to listen to it because it gets more ridiculous as it goes on. But you are such a bad liar. You should have wrote this story down and stuck to one story, because you have done yourself no good by all of this additional bullshit that you added in here. You're factually a fucking liar.
Are you going to stay there until something really does happen to you, when you have, children and grandchildren waiting for you at home? And we did everything and anything, in that we possibly could to this case. And we were, told to leave and threatened. And now we get death threats, like I said, which, is it doesn't matter, that's not even relevant.
Well, I think it is, because you're trying to help, and you guys don't deserve that. It is about Sebastian. You're absolutely right. But I'm just going to tell you, like, it's kind of like Jay told you. Here's my thoughts. Like, with the amount of experience that you and your husband have, as well as
you dumb ass, Brittany, this is why you will always do what you do and lie. This is not factual, and she's even said enough where you should have picked up on that.
Julia,
correct.
Do you know how many families would be so thankful and grateful to have you guys, take over their case and come in and search and help, like the way that you guys are offering? I just don't understand it. There's nothing that, and to hear that recording tonight, because before you came in, we played the audio.
Oh no, I found it. I was crying the entire time. I'm so sorry. Like I'm sorry.
I can honestly, I said a few cuss words. So as much as it upsets me, I can only imagine how you felt hearing him tell that bold-faced lie that, you guys told him that you couldn't help be of any service to them. I could not believe it. I was like, what?
Yeah, Stephanie, never feel sorry for your passion. Always.
No, yeah. You obviously have a huge heart, and you can tell that you're passionate about this, and it's just, and I'm so sorry that this has happened to you. It's not right. You're doing the best you can. You guys put yourself out, God knows how much. I heard you say you had to pay for the private flight to fly your dogs across the country. I mean, yes,
we did.
Unreal.
And like I said, money comes and goes, and thank God we're able to.
But man, they own a software company. Her husband's been in law enforcement. He works all these high profile cases. Like, what is happening here? Oh, just more lies that they can't pick up on, because how embarrassing.
Handle and afford that. We didn't ask. Would we never ask for any money when we're trying to do the right thing? Because that's what it's about.
Her name's right there on the bottom of your screen. Again, it's public. She says she's transparent. There you go.
And that's what we're here for. And we've helped solved a lot of cases. And I wanted to.
Now they've solved cases.
Actually, my husband, because he knew about this case, like I said before, I did. And he wanted to keep going. And it's such a hard thing to deal with when
you're not even good at crying on command. I'm just going to tell you.
It's like how I can't even, I don't even have an analogy to compare it to right now. I do, but I can't even say it because I'm so upset and I'm so sad at what they did to us. And then because we come out and we pour our heart out to people, they start trying to send me death threats because I was trying to help find Sebastian, my husband. And my husband, of course, like I said, he doesn't care. He doesn't, it just rolls off his back. Mm-hmm. But women are different. That's why they say, men are from Mars and women are from Venus.
Yeah.
So I do let it get to me. It does get to me.
Well, if you're getting death threats and you actually have an organization that goes out and searches for people, I would think that your husband would be documenting that, because he's been in law enforcement for 45 years.
Of course.
And if that's something that is is something that I care about, and I care about on my shoulders, it's because there's only a few cases that can get to me, and this one was very, very different. And maybe it's because, like I said, we took our dogs over there and we spent a good amount of time, and then it's like he can smell when he's being closed in on, and that's why I won't say anything else, but all I'm saying is that we were turned away, we were stalked, we were followed, and everything like that. And so all these other people that say they were followed and that
lions and tigers and bears, oh my, I mean cobras, because according to CJ, there's cobras in Tennessee too.
They couldn't continue searching and so on and so forth. They're right. They're right. Because I was.
Yeah.
And who am I? I'm no better than any of them.
Ma'am, that's what we're all asking. Who the fuck are you? And why would you do this? Why would you actively insert yourself in a missing kids case and blatantly lie to everybody? Why? It takes a real special type of evil to do this and completely fabricate lies for no reason.
May live closer. That's all. But we're all in it for the same common goal, was to be able to help and find him.
No, factually speaking, this is all a load of bullshit. It's all a load of bullshit.
Wherever, he could be he could be in plain sight.
Yeah.
And we just haven't found him.
Right. Yeah. It just takes the right set of eyes. Yeah.
Exactly.
Steph, if you don't mind me asking, and if you can even share this, maybe.
Sure.
I'm not sure if you can. If you can, I understand. But you mentioned the dogs had picked up a scent, and could you tell us exactly like where you were at and where it was leading before he asked you to leave?
It was the grass.
Okay. And it was in in their yard?
It was coming away from the yard. But again, bloodhounds.
But not on their property, because you weren't trespassing, but you were trespassing, but you weren't trespassing, but the TBI cleared you, but your husband only works in RICO, but he has a badge.
All they need is for either a sock, a barefoot, like somebody walking barefoot.
Mm-hmm.
And so they got a scent off of
Clue.
They got a scent off of the side of like where the trash cans are when you put the trash cans out.
Yes.
Onto the side of the road.
You know what's really interesting? In Julia's interview, she mentions how usually, like, if he would have taken the trash out, that would have been something that she would have checked herself. I think Julia is the one that Chris actually spoke to, and that would make sense. But this one is following up on what Julia said the night before on this very channel about the trash can and touching the trash can. Isn't that ironic that came in to be a part of her story today?
Yeah, that's where they picked up. That's where they picked up the scent.
Wow, that's interesting. That's interesting. I will say this, and I hope this may not go. Or I know this isn't going to go over well with some, but all I can say is
no, it's not going to go over well, because you are sitting here letting this lady completely mislead everybody when she is spewing a load of garbage.
What I've observed, and it does seem like when people get close, if it's anywhere near that home, he loses his mind.
I accept that's not even happening. This is all bullshit. That's not factual. I read the email that he wrote. Yes, he's given permission for them to search other places, but no, law enforcement, they're working with law enforcement. This was a decision that they made.
I mean, we have a friend here in chat, CJ. CJ is a creator here on YouTube, but he's also been.
CJ may have known me. My name is Steph.
CJ may have known her. Just wait for this, friend.
EPH. I have actually when I had time, like on the plane and stuff like that, and then
on the plane, again, private jet, they had to pay for out of pocket. No big deal though, because last time they were in Tennessee, they went to see Elvis. But she was watching CJ along with the Nina interview 4 days ago when she was on the plane in the mid-flight.
Other times, I have really like admired him for wanting to go out there and continuing to go
You admire his PPP and his 150 that he gives everybody
out there. And I wish that I had a driving buddy like him to be able to go out there.
I bet he would be your driving buddy. I mean, I don't know if he's going to really be able to take the seat of your non-existent 6'5", 385-pound law enforcement husband, but chances are he might live up to that. But I think he's only 5'7", 160 pounds.
And just drive and go do what we need to do, because he's a wonderful person, and he's there for the greater good.
Well, he's there for the greater good. Cha-ching, choo-choo. The grifting train commences.
He is in chat. He said that to connect with him and you guys could work together when you come back, you and your husband.
Don't worry, she's flying solo. You don't have to worry about that non-existent husband.
Tell him that I follow him and he follows me on Instagram.
Okay, I think he's going to hop up for.
Okay, so you heard what she said. They follow each other on Instagram. If you go look at CJ's Instagram, look at the followers, you'll find this lovely lady. Again, she's transparent. She put this all out here publicly. I'm just repeating her words and telling you how to vet shit.
For a minute. His internet is shot because of the storms, but I think he said he's going to try to come up for a minute.
Okay.
I wish it would have been actually fried, because CJ something else.
Did you tell the police about your Did you tell the police about being followed and stalked by these people?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Good deal,
Yes,
because I just, for your safety. And
But I thought she didn't report it because their house is wired like Fort Knox, and her husband, flew with El Chapo to Colorado and helped put Richard Ramirez and Charles Man, I can't even keep up. No, this is too much.
I'm telling you, you're not the only one. CJ said he's had issues. JLR's had issues. There are quite a few people who claim that they would get right in front of the home, and
I heard that. Yeah,
people would rush out at them.
Especially JLR. I mean, everybody has their own creators. Everybody in this crime area, everybody has their own niche. Some people are good at this, some people are good at that, other people are good at this, and that's all it is. And then you can pick and choose where you want to go, and if you want to go to all 5 or 10 of them,
ma'am, you're not even good at lying. Just letting you know, you're not even good at this.
That's your prerogative.
Lying is not your niche either.
I'm sorry. Hi, CJ.
Don't apologize.
Hey, what's up? You can hear me okay? Yeah, sorry, I'm on my phone. But I wanted to hop up real quick because I totally feel your pain, and whatever we can do, I'm down for. Whatever, whenever you're,
he feels her pain.
You can hit me up.
Is your toe still needing an ambulance?
In the background around Instagram or whatever, and we can, just keep it between whoever you want to keep it between.
Or between us, right?
Yeah, and I'll go out there, I'll make sure that I'm there to do whatever I can to help.
Don't worry, he's going to give you a whole lot of 150 PPP.
Well, CJ, it wasn't too long ago. I can't remember because I have so many days, dates in my head. But
yeah.
I was driving on the freeway, the 405 freeway 405 101 freeway in Los Angeles.
So she likes to drive a lot.
Is a nightmare. So I for some reason I had just plugged my phone in because I came out of the grocery store and I plugged my phone in, and then I tapped on YouTube, and I heard your kind and heartfelt, genuine and sincere message to Sebastian. And I cried like a baby. I am a baby. I'm a girl. I don't care.
You being female has nothing to do with you crying. I mean, truthfully.
I cried the whole way home. And I just want to tell you that it takes a man like you to be able to post something like that and show your true feelings. And I admire you for that. I really do.
That's Wow. I admire you for what you do. I don't even know how to.
You don't need to.
CJ's still stuck on somebody called him a man. Anyways, not the little bitch she is. Anywho, here now she's fangirling over CJ, but I'm gonna leave her.
Anything, CJ. You're a wonderful person.
I appreciate that.
Well, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I just want to tell CJ that, his work does not go unnoticed, and he is there to help these families just like I have. And I know he's been under the same scrutiny as I have.
Ma'am, this is the first time I think you've been scrutinized. You're welcome.
With being followed and being harassed. And all.
Oh, we've looked at all CJ being followed and harassed, non-existent stuff. Okay.
All we want to do is help. And unfortunately, I'm on the other side of the continent. You know what? I'm
on the other side of the continent now. You mean the country? The United States? California, Tennessee? Continent, though?
In California. But you know what? It doesn't alter the fact that we don't have the same feelings and that it doesn't affect us equally. You don't have to.
Absolutely.
Be somebody else to pretend, and unless, and I have some people say, oh, Steph, I know how you feel. You know what? Unless you have been there and in our shoes, right, CJ? You don't know how we feel.
Ma'am, I'm just going to stop you right now because this is all fabricated bullshit that you're doing. First and foremost, all of this is fabrication. You are a complete fucking buffoon liar. That's what we're going to call it, what it is. And I really find it disgusting that you are trying to discredit how the family of this missing child is feeling. This ain't about you. And the fact that you even have the audacity to insert yourself into this and act like you're doing something to help this situation, meanwhile, just creating nothing but rumors and falsehoods in this entire thing to paint a narrative against Chris Proudfoot, you're fucking sick, truthfully.
Right. Yeah. Because
nobody knows.
No. That's why when I heard your words, I was just like, I felt so bad for you because I know, when you were talking about it, I'm just like, I started going through all those feelings again. And that's why I was saying it's a soul versus safety conflict and it hurts your soul.
Oh my God. Do you need a fucking Band-Aid for your soul, CJ?
Because
it does.
You want to do everything you can. And then it's like
and then some people try and just rip you to shreds and try and bring you down.
Thank you, love. I hope you have the best date night ever. Go enjoy.
But you know what? It's not going to work for me. I'm here, like you, CJ, Brittany, everybody else. We are here for the greater good.
Well, they're there for the greater good. More speculations, rumors, and lies.
And the greater good is to bring Sebastian home and for us to continue to do what we do.
Continue to do what you do. Lie. Interfere with an active investigation over a missing minor.
Yes, ma'am. And I got to tell you, I love your heart. I really do. We need people like that have you have that connection and there's no questioning your motives. You know what?
Bullshit. Her motives should be 100% questioned, and you don't belong in this arena because you don't even have enough common sense to understand that this doesn't make a lick of sense. Not one bit. And you have some sort of you should have done some due diligence here. You owe it to these victims and their families before bringing this shit on your panel and spewing it and then acting like you give a fuck.
But I mean, we need people like that.
Oh yeah.
And Brittany, people will rip this to pieces and take it.
I don't need to rip it to pieces. You've done that for all of us. I just need to point out the bullshit that you're spewing. That's it.
As however they want. But you know what? As long as we know what we are doing, that's all that matters. And so, you know what, if they have, if they want to go ahead and do whatever it is they want to do and rip us to shreds, you know what, we're stronger because now we have a bigger and better community.
Oh yeah. So strong. Your community is thriving based on lies and speculation about the parents of a missing child. How fucking great are you?
CJ, me, it just gets stronger. We get stronger. You're not going to break us down. Who do you think you are? You don't pay my bills.
Exactly. That's the way you got to look at it.
Right? You think you're going to get me down?
Your husband pays your bills, right? And he sleeps with one eye open.
Come on. You're pushing me up. You're pushing me up.
And I'm going to be honest with you, and I know you guys can definitely agree. The more push there is to try to keep us from finding Sebastian.
Whoo, Brittany, you need to stay in your fucking lane. You really do. You ain't doing shit to find this child, especially by encouraging this type of complete and utter disgusting nonsense.
It only makes me want to push harder.
Mhm.
It's not doing what you think, like to listen to him say these canine handlers said that they can't be of any service to us.
This is from last night.
Are you kidding me? There's a problem there. I dare anybody to try to defend that. How can you? You can't.
You can't.
He blatantly lied. You have somebody who completely lied, which tells us he knows he's wrong. You don't have to lie.
Right. You don't have to lie, but you just let somebody sit on your panel and spoon feed you a line of shit and you ate every bit of it.
Blame someone else when you believe in a choice that you've made. You know it's wrong.
This is so
That's why you're putting the blame on someone else.
Exactly. Another thing I've learned is that whenever I go there and when I go back, I am leaving my channel up to record.
Oh, she's got a channel. She's leaving her channel up. I wonder why she's inserting herself in this.
Or however I need to do for my safety.
For her safety.
Yeah.
And to make sure, right?
Yeah.
I don't care if I have 10 people on there. This is going to be documented. So that way I have proof that I was there. So if anybody says I was otherwise or I wasn't doing what I needed to do and show my dogs when I need to show them and they get excited and everything like that, I'm going to do it for my protection.
Her protection. CJ Jr.
Whether I lose sleep or not, I don't care.
Well, your husband already sleeps with one eye open, so you shouldn't be worried about losing sleep.
I'll drive however long it is I need to drive in order, and I don't care if I have to sleep in my car.
But I thought money was no. You flew in a private jet last time. Why would you have to sleep in your car? If you're flying in private jets, can afford private jets, why would you be sleeping in your car?
I'm not a bougie type of girl.
Flying in a private jet's pretty bougie to me.
And you know what? I'm going to make sure of that for my safety, so I have it documented.
Well,
and if anybody else does not do that, shall I suggest? I mean, unless people go out are actually out there looking, they should be live. As long as they are there.
You need to be at this point with how dangerous it is.
Yeah.
I every time I'm there, I'm live, period.
It's so dangerous for all of these peoples because there's cobras in the woods out there. CJ's got to stream everything.
And listen, for those of you that are like, yeah, well, what if something, what if you stumble on something? I've seen CJ do this.
I've had to use it to prove stuff.
And he pans the camera away because a lot of people are like, well, what if you accidentally catch something on camera that's detrimental to the family? Well, if you're going to be live streaming and you have respect, naturally you're going to know to be wary and you're not going to want to point the camera to, you know what I mean? Like there are ways to do this without having that happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm sure they know.
It's like anything that we've came across that was questionable. We turned the cameras. When I found the bones, I didn't have it on there until it was obvious it wasn't human, but we still called them in because that area was supposedly searched and there was 9 garbage bags that needed to be ripped open and didn't get ripped open until I found that bag.
Shocking. The area had been searched, but the 9 garbage bags hadn't been opened up.
You can go to any of our searches. That's why I even say it's not only for our protection, but it's for everybody to see the truth.
Exactly.
You can't just jump out of your car and say that you found something 5 minutes into your walk. Like some of us are, we're on there for 2, 3, 4 hours before we might even come across something. Even when I was down in Mississippi, it wasn't until like hour 3 where we came across that sod pile in the middle of the woods that just didn't make sense.
Mercy K says Katie should leave Chris and speak up. She's trapped in hell.
That's what they've been trying to push for, is to get the two of them to fall apart and turn on each other.
I'm going to respectfully disagree with that one. I'm just saying, Mercy K. And I don't want to say too much on with us having Steph on panel. I want to keep it kind of with this topic, but I will just say this.
Do you want me to leave? I'll leave.
No, I don't want you to leave. No, not at all. I just don't want to say anything like I have some. I don't want to say strong opinions, but I'm not very happy with the Proudfoots and the things that have happened at all. I mean, for God's sakes, look at what we're talking about here now.
Yeah, complete and utter bullshit. That's the funny thing is your strong fucking opinions are based off of rumor, speculation, and non-factual information.
You and your husband were made to leave when you would have been of great service trying. And then to hear that your dog picked up on the trash can, you picked up his scent on the trash can. I mean,
he picked up the scent. Actually, okay.
Leon 1010, thank you for becoming a member.
So if you take the garbage can out, and there's a footprint, obviously, where you when you push the trash can out, and you leave a footprint there. So whether it's
a handprint is what the previous I'm not even joking. The night before on Brittany's stream, Julia comes up, who is an actual dog handler. She specifically talks about if he took the trash out, where she would have looked for scent DNA, or not scent, for scent on the trash can. She talks about that. This is what she spun out of Julia's story.
Barefoot, or whether there is a sock involved, the bloodhounds will pick up.
This interview is from last night.
Not one, but both scents, and compare it. And that's where they go crazy. And that's where they lose their minds. So people think, well, we needed to have him sniff clothing. You know what? That's like OJ, like saying OJ didn't, unalive his wife. Come on. This is reality. This is like, we have this, we have this, we have this. Let our dogs sniff it. And that's where they got the scent from.
I bet that other dog handler, if she listened to this, was like, what?
So it doesn't necessarily have to be an article of clothing.
Gotcha.
And a lot of
her name's Stephanie Esparza. She claims to be a canine handler from California who flew on a private jet to Tennessee to search and got removed. I'll do a full recap in a minute of all the lies that she has told in her resume, according to her own statements. It's all bullshit, by the way. Complete bullshit.
People who see this, because it's not national news, but whoever sees this, whoever YouTuber see this, they're going to go, oh, okay, so on and so forth. So, but the thing is that bloodhounds are trained to sniff something beyond clothing, beyond anything. So if anything is taken as whatever they want to take it, that, okay, the dog handler smelled, this piece of clothing, that piece of clothing. Well, you know what? Our bloodhounds are trained beyond that extent. That's why we were told to go away, because we were a threat, because our bloodhounds can canvas and can smell whether it is a barefoot or someone with a sock.
I'm going to need you to provide proof of this private jet that you took to Tennessee and your credentials that you keep saying for these dogs.
So, okay. So you guys get what she's saying. They didn't need a blanket or a sock or anything like that. They were able to get the scent off of I'm trying to understand the driveway or the.
It's like a driveway. It's like a curb. Kind of like where you put your trash cans at, and you kind of tip them over, and then just let them lean against the.
Anybody that's looked at Google Earth and all the creators that have gone over that would know. I mean, this is
the whatever it is. I mean, again, I live in California, so my verbiage may not be as relevant over there, but we have a curb, and if you park or you put your trash can in the curb, one, it is considered like you've abandoned your property, because once you put it out on the street, it's considered abandoned.
What?
So now, again, I don't know how it is in Tennessee, but our dogs picked up 2 cents.
Now it's 2 cents.
So if Sebastian took the trash cans out, he was either barefoot or he had socks on. And there is where my dogs lost it.
Okay, got you. So
So it's really interesting. Again, go back and watch the Julia part of the interview from the night before and hear what she talked about with the trash can. And then the next night, here she comes with this trash can, and now there's 2 cents instead of 1.
Okay.
But this happened on May 6th, and Chris supposedly was at work in another state. but they had a confrontation with Chris and they flew on a private jet out of Costa Mesa.
Where did the dog, and you said the dog?
God. Oh, yeah. Well, we saw enough. I don't even need to pull up the download of it. You guys saw enough. You saw exactly what happened here. Complete and utter bullshit. Complete outright lies. I'm not even going to worry about pulling the other part up. Brittany, you are so disgusting. You are a fucking pathetic true crime creator. Sorry. That goes for Jay for Justice too. Y'all just took this hook, line, and sinker and didn't vet your information, nothing. And whoever this Stephanie is, you owe an apology to this family for interjecting yourself in an active investigation. Let's recap really quick of what we know about Miss Stephanie Esparza over here, who claims to be a dog handler. Stephanie is from California, specifically Newport Beach, California. She claims that she is a dog handler who was at one time an ER and trauma nurse. She claims that her husband, who is 6'5", 380 plus pounds, with his belt on and all of his gears, the last time he was weighed, because that's important, has worked in law enforcement for 45 years. Meanwhile, he's only 60 years old and she is 52. Her birthday is May 17th. They have a daughter. She's got 2 granddaughters. Her daughter works in plastic surgery. They own a software company on the side. They also moonlight as drone pilots. They took a private jet that cost them thousands and thousands of dollars to fly from California to Tennessee. They claim that they had clearance from the TBI. However, the TBI obviously didn't know that they were even coming, but it's because her husband has this badge that he can just flash anywhere that gives him jurisdiction anywhere, ultimately because he works on RICO investigations and he helped with the Richard Ramirez case and he met Charlie Manson and he flew with El Chapo to Colorado. I mean, hell, it all makes sense, right? Not only that, her husband sleeps with one eye open and you question why. I wonder fucking why. She's got also 4 Shar-Pays that were vests. That is another thing we need to know. And they all have credentials. We don't know what kind of credentials. They're probably fake, probably about the same credentials as the life coach over here. They got threats starting May 7th, maybe the 8th, when she first started talking out because she had all this needed to get off of her chest because her husband said that originally she trusted Jay for Justice to call in because she felt this, was really heavy on her heart. But then she switched up the story and said that her husband trusted Jay for Justice because he's worked in law enforcement and they needed to get this information out. Don't forget that she is Catholic. She also asked about Nina, said that she watched the Nina interview in flight, because private planes have in-flight service. So she watched that. And she also fangirls over CJ and his PPP and his 150. Don't forget she's in her car an awful lot. Her house is wired like Fort Knox. She has an Instagram that says she is nothing of the sort, that she just promoted. She's been stalked, threatened, photos of it all. She cries a lot. She's traumatized. Am I forgetting anything? Oh, by the way, this is called The Calling. Sad but true. She's just a girl with a heart. What are you going to do? I've never seen such fucking ridiculousness in my life. Miss Dog Handler Stephanie, our whiteboard ran out of room. I'll get a new one. But you made the list of Seth's team of deflection and distraction that people are running with. And all of you fucking true crime creators who call yourselves true crime and know what the fuck you're doing, I just made a mockery out of all of you because you didn't even attempt to vet or question or challenge anything she was saying when you factually knew she was full of shit. There ain't one of you unless you really don't give a fuck. She claims she talked about Sebastian in the past tense like he had passed away, and we all continue to have hope that Sebastian is alive. The focus has gotten completely off Sebastian, and I will continue to say that. And I'm so thankful for the channels that continue to speak factually about Sebastian and what is going on. This is another epic failure. She claims that she flew to Tennessee on May 6th. The threat started May 7th or 8th, but factually we know that Chris returned to work and he's been working night shift according to what he states, and he was in a completely different state. But yet her husband came around the corner when they were trespassing, but they weren't trespassing, but they were trespassing. But her dogs picked up not 1, but 2 cents on a garbage can because she heard the interview from the previous dog handler over there. The dogs, you know, their ears are so long that they pick up scent and they get trapped in their folds, which is factual about how bloodhounds work. But she just wants to help. She's just a girl with a heart. This is her calling. I hope you go to church and repent for your fucking sins of lying and interjecting yourself into a fucking case of a missing child. Confessional's coming up. I think you should probably go. Any questions? Anybody need? Julia is legit. Truthfully, that dog handler is absolutely legit. Absolutely disgusting. Oh, BJ knows. BJ knows. She don't care. It's content to them. Yeah, and they're just running with it all. Running with it all. She's been on other channels too. No proof of anything. None whatsoever. Yeah. Didn't even. Yeah, I agree with you, Aaron. Absolutely wrong for speaking publicly, but at least she was factual about what the dogs do. Yes, chasing. Thank you. Absolutely. And that, my friends, is how that's done. This is how I sit when I listen to these. I make myself a notepad. I have, this is going to be embarrassing, but I'll show you guys. Well, this book doesn't belong in here. This is what I do. This is how I break shit down. These are notes that I make while I'm watching live streams. I got notebooks everywhere around the house. I got pads, everything that I make notes with. I go through, I take this shit seriously. You know why I do? Because there's a missing child. His name is Sebastian Rogers. He is 15 years old and deserves to be brought home, just like every other missing kid. Every other missing child deserves to be brought home too. And you people that are interjecting yourself into this case to try and paint a narrative about Chris, because you have some weird obsession with Chris. Meanwhile, he was out of town when this even happened, and law enforcement has said that they have cooperated. There's nobody been even charged with the crime. We need awareness for Sebastian, not more pure, blatant bullshit. Y'all should be ashamed of yourself. 52 years old, man, you need to fucking grow up. You should be ashamed of yourself. Absolutely fucking ashamed of yourself. And Brittany, so should you, and so should you, Jay for Justice, and CJ. Absolutely disgusting. I will buy us a new whiteboard this weekend because, or we'll just do that. We might need the whole wall by the time we're done. This is absolutely ridiculous. The only people that this is hurting is ultimately Sebastian, because you're hurting and kicking his family and blatantly lying about. Exactly. There's no charges. There's no crime. It's an open investigation. That's it. We at one time rallied around people who were going through tragic events instead of taking every little thing to kick them when they're down. It's disgusting. Y'all deserve what you have coming. Karma will come back. But I suggest, since you're Catholic, you know, you had to mention that too, because it was part of your fucking resume of lies, that you go to confessional and confess all your sins, because, ma'am, this is disgusting how you interjected yourself into an active missing child. You don't want to help anybody. You want to help yourself. And all of you. Yeah. Jessica, I also have her. Did they pick him? Okay, I'll be done in a minute, and I'll message you. That just made my heart sink for a minute. God damn. These people are fucking terrible. Let me show you something. Let me show you how this works. So you go over to CJ's. There she is. Steph Esparza. Fashion is my passion. She's a makeup artist, a cosmetologist, and a skincare consultant. I don't know what the purpose of this is, but the fact that this is happening and that phone call was released intentionally yesterday and held intentionally because Chris had a custody case, and they are re-victimizing Katie over and over and over again and not giving two shits. You can hear her in the background talking about what that was from. Y'all are fucking sick. Shaming her. She's a victim, you sick, twisted individuals. I can't wait until there's some resolve in this and I can tell you everything I actually feel about this. Right now, I continue to remain hopeful, and I continue to say that the parents have nothing to do with the disappearance with Sebastian because law enforcement has given us no indication that that's the case. They deserve better than this. Sebastian deserves better than this. He deserves his family to be treated better than this. You want to talk about how you're traumatized, Steph? I'm going to traumatize you. Let me tell you, if you don't disappear off this fucking internet and stop doing those goddamn interviews, I will show everybody your ass over and over again. And that's not a threat. That's a promise. I will keep it on YouTube. But you gave us all the information we needed to know. You're so proud of yourself. And don't forget the whiteboard. That makes no sense. You have Chris and Katie who have worked with law enforcement and United Cajun Navy to try and find their son. You also have an MLM on this side. Duchess is the ringleader of the MLM. Clue's got one leg. I've got one leg. And then we've got downlines, I guess, because hell, if it's on the internet, it must be true, right? But then you've got Seth's team over here. JLR, we added Dolly up here. Just a little Dolly. Just a little bit of Dolly. We don't really know where he fits in this except pure speculation and vile bullshit. Then you've got Trev Time, who was brought in to do the interview with Nina. Yeah, that will be continued on too. Then you've got the PI Chloe, who brought in the registered sex offender Brothers Underwater Recovery Search and Rescue without vetting them. The PI, the well-respected PI who brought in a registered sex offender to search for a minor child who unfortunately was connected to narc divers who has nothing to do with this situation, actually cared about searching. Then you've got CJ over here that, gives 150 with his PPP and his buddy Busby. Bzz, that's all I can say about that. Then you've got T-Rev, who is a part of the team too, of this pure speculation, who has been vetting tips. Then you've got Pascal, who is just running all sorts of interference and bullshit going on in all the narratives. Then you've got Heather, the PI, who records phone calls and releases them to people to get them out on the internet, calls into T-Rev show and Fangirls. Then you have Terry Lynn, who just happens to be out there searching and comes across pants that, had you looked at them or did anything with, you would have known. Anything for content, who also records phone calls for Nina because of the child custody case. Then you've got Brooks, who interviews and takes information and claims that she's interviewing a neighbor who the neighbor doesn't exist. Factually speaking, that's bullshit too. Proven by real neighbors in the neighborhood. Then you've got the lab, who just happens to be connected to Trevor Lee, Trev Time, who released the phone call last night that Chris was upset and protecting his wife. He had every right to feel that way. Then you've got Seth's mommy dearest down here. I don't even know what that's going on anymore. You've got Tony Mathis, whatever you want to call him. And honestly, I had hope for him, but the internet has started a petition, aka Dolly started a petition to get Tony out. They're on the same team, but they're worried about Tony stopping their content. And then at the very bottom of here, don't forget Justin on TikTok, who has also been told to make sure you catch these photos and pose them correctly. So it looked like it was a really heated altercation when really in reality, it was two guys having a conversation about their missing child. And don't forget, now we've got dog handler Steph, who just posted and made up the complete most egregious lies based out of her ass. Cried the entire time, tried to emotionally manipulate you all into believing that it was true. Nope, Pascal's on there too. Any questions? I think that's a good wrap up for this Friday. If next week holds anything like this week does, oh Lord, bless us all. Please go to church if you believe in that. Go take a bath in some holy water because I sure as hell need to after this bullshit. Brittany J for Justice, Dolly Vision, all of you that have been entertained this fucking dog handler Steph, you owe an apology to Sebastian first and foremost and his family because you have once again intentionally taken the focus off of the missing child. Do better, be better, or just fucking do something that you could actually accomplish because this isn't something you can do. That's what you do. You walk it back. You make notes. You fact check shit. If you're going to be bringing awareness to a missing child, it's about being factual. That's what it is. To all my mamas out here, fur baby mamas, any type of mama, I don't care. Happy Mother's Day weekend. For the dads doing double duty, happy Mother's Day to you too. I hope you all have a great weekend. Yeah, absolutely, Scott. I can. Oh, yeah, we got all sorts of colors. The red light special. You guys want the red light special? I can do it all. I got a remote. I will probably see you guys this weekend. I will probably see you guys tomorrow or something. Am and I think, are going to do a segment and we will be on at some point in time. Please take care of you. This has been a really heavy week. If you've been following this, you've been fed a lot of bullshit. I appreciate most of you being able to weed through this on your own without me needing to do this, but I appreciate you all being here. And Peak, I love you too. Thank you to all my mods once again for all of the shit you put up with and sitting here and taking hits for me because, you know, my mouth doesn't ever stop running. To all of my friends who constantly are texting me and checking up on me, I appreciate you guys so much. Yeah, Julia was factual though. Like Julia's legit. She's 100%. Like I don't have nothing bad to say about her because she is legit. There's other reasons, like, and she even in her explanation, I'm assuming that that's who. Yeah, the truth is absolutely worth it. Absolutely worth it. All right, y'all. Have a great day. Thanks for joining me today. Be safe out there. Clue, enjoy your birthday if you're still here. Hope you guys all enjoy your edibles. The ones of you that ate them already. Have a good Friday night, y'all. Bye.